do?
And we are live. Welcome to the Ricky Dink BS podcast with your host, with the most, the podcast god, Superfly, Johnny Lee, and his co-host, B Money, four-time state champion.
What's up, y'all?
And we got a packed show because we got Playboy, Scott Hayes in the house. We got Donnie Green in the house, and we got Bear Steele.
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
That's right, because tonight it's all about the MWA.
I mean, we got the Playboy in the house.
Exactly.
We ain't getting no time, man. We didn't get no shine when he's around.
No,
so
never did get it. Never did get no shine.
Here it
That's
comes.
the boss's
Here it comes.
brother.
Hey, I got lucky one time. I got lucky one time. Got to rub elbows with him once.
Don't cross the balls.
Hey, that's actually pretty
Chris,
good.
I
heard
remember
this
when
for,
Chris come
20
to the
years.
back. I remember Chris come to the back, and he's like, "Hey, that's my brother. He's not ever been trained, but put him over."
Yeah. Well,
He
that
also-
never happened.
He also had on his pants and his shirt and his little golfing visor backwards. And I was like, "What music?" He's like, "I don't care about no music." Blah blah blah. I said, "Bro, let me." So I remember I got you that My Way.
Yeah,
and you like that.
yep.
And then all of a sudden, like, here's my thing with Scott in the beginning. He didn't care. He was just, it was something to do. He was there, but then all of a sudden, dude, it was like a switch flip. And he's got gear, he's got pants, he's got new music.
Well, at first
he's tanning, he's shaving his chest.
Yeah,
like,
I don't
he's
even
doing
think.
everything,
So
man.
when you first got into it, you just did it because you was bored.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd always watched it. My dad did it, like everybody else's dad did here, and Chris
Mac
did
attack.
it. And I was off in college, I was down in Tennessee going to school, and I was like, when Chris bought the company, then I was like, I might try that one day. And then they threw me in a battle royal. I was like, oh shoot! But I had a hood on. I had a mask. They threw me under a mask.
Wasn't you a samurai?
I don't even know what they
Samurai.
called me. Here comes a mask, dude. They threw me out in about 2 seconds, and I was back. But,
Yeah, because
and
when
then I
Chris
was
bought
hooked.
the company, he got that gimmick with it. The
Yeah,
samurai.
it was. That's what I was too scared to go out without a mask on at the
Yeah.
beginning, because I wasn't trained. I just got some stuff here and there, and then on Sunday nights, Bobby would kind of help me out in the ring before the shows on Sunday night, and that was basically it. And then,
Well, watching you look like the
Right.
smoothest butter.
well, this was a few years. I appreciate that, but it was a few years later where it kind of clicked for me. I think I was lost early on.
So when you first started, you was just Scott Hayes.
Well,
'Cause
I
we
was
come
a
up with the
samurai.
Playboy.
Yes, you all did. I was going to say that. I was just a samurai, and then Roger Ruffin was booking the shows in Georgetown, and he said, we're going to take the mask off of you. You're going to go out as Scott Hayes. And I remember I was hyperventilating back in the
Well,
back. I was
I mean-
scared to death, and me and Chad Allegra,
Yeah.
Carl Anderson,
Yeah,
now we
right.
had to go out, and we started whatever, and that was the first time Scott Hayes went to the ring without a mask on.
Well,
But-
the thing about it was, for his gimmick was, I mean, it was kind of a gimmick, but it wouldn't. I mean, a single dude, got plenty of money,
Traveling
nice
everywhere.
cars, dresses nice. He wants to go to nice places. He didn't appreciate.
He was the most proper guy in the dressing room.
Right. Oh yeah. It's still, like, I don't know why he hung out with us as long as he did, because, like, I mean, he just had the juice back
I think he
then.
was just bored.
Right.
I
No,
was.
well, I think it was
Because we was over at Justin Idol's house one night, and we was all drinking. I don't know. I was blitzed. And we was sitting there just bullshit. And I was like, dude, you ought to be Playboy Scott Hayes.
Yeah,
Just out of nowhere,
yeah.
just come up with the Playboy. And then we started bouncing ideas right there at Justin's kitchen table while
Yeah.
we was all drunk.
Because I had no gimmick. You
Yeah.
remember those pants? I had some boots that were my dad's, and
then
I had some,
parachute pants.
some crap like that. And then you all
Windbreaker,
started coming up with
windbreaker.
ideas, and the next thing you know, you got
Yeah.
cummerbunds and
That's
bow
what I was-
ties. And
yeah, it wasn't long after that, man. He shows up and this dude's got black pants with bunnies down the
Yeah.
side.
Hey,
That
and
works, though.
everybody in the state and surrounding state trying to book him.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, he was hot, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
it was-
when that Playboy hit, And I mean, he was just hot, man. It was just,
That was
he
the
could
smartest decision that you
Here's
could
the
ever
thing.
make, too.
When you show up to a show and you can work, and you got nice gear, and you're respectful, and you don't hurt people, and you try to do everything the right way, you will get those kind of.
But the thing was, he looked the part of as the
Right.
Playboy. Look at that. Look at his gear.
I mean, he was
got
always
the pink bunnies down. Got the pink.
Yeah,
always,
Exactly.
clean,
jacket.
always clean shaven. I mean, haircut. You know, he kept always.
And when he come out to get heat, he would make you feel like
smaller than him.
yeah, like fuck that dude.
Yeah, fuck that rich prick.
Yeah.
I mean that was the whole deal. But then when he turned face, it was
He was over then,
oh,
too.
My God.
I liked being a heel better.
Oh yeah.
You know, in this gimmick, but I thought it was a little more athletic being a baby face.
Well,
for me, it was anyway.
When you're such a big heel, they're gonna love you anyway. So then once you flipped, you couldn't really go back.
Yeah, right.
That was the thing. Me and Donnie could flip. Well, I could because I was just a heel. When I babied, it was bullshit. I sucked, all that. But Donnie could go. He could flip flop.
Right.
And it's hard to be able to. Chris could flip flop.
Yeah.
I'd go to Georgetown and then go back a month later, and he's done switched. You know,
Right.
X could flip flop. Everybody can't flip flop.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's like Shane. Shane wasn't. I mean, he was a good heel, but people loved him so much. It was hard for him to be a heel.
Yeah.
Exactly, because if you're going to be good at a role, you're either going to be the heel, or like Playboy and Donnie, you can switch between babyface or a heel.
I was a terrible babyface because I never just could get into.
You could.
I never could.
As a baby face, you got to be able to completely switch modes and get with the people.
and I
You
could-
could never switch roles. You still wanted to hate the people, even when you
Right.
and you can't. Once you turn face, you got to.
Well,
That person's your best friend now.
When I turned face, I was just a heel helping out the face. You know what I mean? Like I never sold myself on that. I never thought that they would believe and they would like me like they like you
That's
guys.
like
You know what
Chuck,
I mean?
man.
I just never.
Chuck
I just
had
never
them
bought into
people.
it.
Chucky Smooth having people
Yeah.
eating out of his hands.
Yeah.
They thought Chucky was the greatest thing ever because he took time to talk to every fan in there, and that's what you got to do when you're a babyface. You just got to make them believe that they're important to you, and then you're over.
Exactly.
I mean,
I just never
Scott was
felt that.
promising them rides in his
I don't
Mercedes.
know. I
and
just
stuff.
never felt comfortable being a baby. I like the in-ring part of it better, I think. But
Right.
I just wasn't a big go out, shake hands, kiss the ladies, hug the
Right.
baby. I wasn't big on that. I was,
No, me neither.
But-
I'd rather have people yelling and screaming at me any day.
and
I
still
would too,
wasn't-
but
So, what do you think? If you think back, maybe not what was your best match, what was your favorite match or favorite person to work?
Oh man, I don't know.
That's a good question.
Because we were just talking about that, and I'll let you go. Then we'll all go.
Yeah,
around.
I mean, all you guys were great. It seemed like
well, you ain't hurt nobody's feelings.
no, I
like
know,
that,
but
you
I
know.
mean, the first time I was ever hit by a chair was by Bear. He and I were up in Georgetown wrestling Jay from the NWA or NWF and Justin. I
Yeah.
was holding one of those guys, and I'd never been hit by a chair. Dude, you brought me to my knees.
I bet
I
it
mean,
was.
I'd never taken. I don't know what I was doing. He hit me, and I was like, oh my God.
he tried to
killed me.
hurt you on purpose.
He brought me.
I'm probably
I
the
was
worst
dead.
person to take
Oh,
your first
my
chair
Lord.
shot from.
That
I
tore
mean,
me
remember,
up.
he broke my leg to
Yeah.
keep the belt. You know what I'm
There we
saying?
go.
I remember
And we
that.
even got started, and you're gonna go with that.
What? I'm just
stupid
saying,
shit. What
Bear
I'm
tries
saying
to
is,
hurt people.
And I
I
had-
will admit, I'm probably the worst person to be first hit with a chair because
Well, it
you got
was.
nothing to compare it to.
Yeah,
so
right. Oh,
I'm
shoot.
fucking you. I'm swinging like for the
Oh,
Rockies.
you did.
I'm
You
trying
did.
to get a contract, brother. I knew you
I
had
was-
to hook up.
But here's the thing. Once he took a chair shot from you, he knew how to take one
Yeah.
the next
Oh, yeah,
time.
next time
yeah.
him was up
Oh, I was probably running out of there. But I had good matches with Donnie over in Estill Street Jubilee. But the guy I think that I probably wrestled the most and maybe had the best in-ring chemistry may have been Eddie Browning.
That's what I was fixing to
Man,
say.
we had
y'all
some
were
really
smooth
good
together, man.
matches.
Man, y'all got similar styles.
Yeah, it
Really
was.
similar.
Yeah.
We wrestled here. We
I
wrestled
remember
over in Hazard
you and Eddie working, and all the workers would be at the curtain, you know.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I had never met Eddie.
That's a good
I mean, I
compliment.
knew he was. He had been wrestling a long time in the state, but I never really knew him until I guess he or myself and Kelly Charles went up to Ohio somewhere and wrestled a show for somebody. It wasn't Roger.
Eddie's good.
And Eddie was there, and we ended up hitting it off. And shoot, I don't know. He was
got
really
to work
good.
Eddie, Johnny Noble, none of those guys.
Yeah, those guys were good.
Man.
I never got to work Eddie, but I got to tag with him.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
We had good in ring. We wrestled down in Nashville quite a bit in some
And
smaller
I got to work
towns.
Noble. He was easy to
Good.
work.
Yep. Those guys
I
were.
didn't ever get to. So what about you?
And another. Oh, let me.
go ahead.
And
No,
a
go
guy
ahead.
down in Nashville that really. We had really good in ring. It was Jeff Daniels. I don't know if you guys remember him.
veteran,
Old school.
yeah.
Yeah,
Old
he
school.
was good.
Yeah.
And it was all in the. I mean,
He
it
had
was
that.
right in the
He had
middle.
that black mustache.
Heck yeah, he was older, but he had been an NWA World Tag Team Champion with. Oh God, what was his partner's name? I can't remember. I worked him one night in Murfreesboro, but those guys, old school, right in the ring. It was great. He could lead a match very well. I really liked working with him too.
Man, it's hard for me to say who my favorite was to work. Like, I had a group of guys that
Right.
were like we had that one. At one point, we had a small group that
Anybody could.
everybody performed really well with each other. And all the matches, if you worked anybody, whether it be Tuffy, Tommy Gunn, Scott, Justin, you
Adam
all.
Gunn was good to work.
Yeah, he
with.
was, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know, man. I any of those
He
guys,
ain't
honest,
cute, but he's good to work.
like.
Me and Larry D, we had a lot of good matches too.
See, I wrestled Larry probably more than I've wrestled anybody.
Right.
We had so many feuds, and they
Yeah.
were all good ones.
I know.
And they all drew money, pretty much.
Yeah, oh,
Like,
yeah.
we always drew money on our feuds. So,
Mhm. But yeah, those are 3 or 4 names that come to mind with me.
For me, like I was telling you earlier, my favorite person to work was Al. I guess because we trained together, we did everything together, and I mean, it just it didn't take.
probably because you knew you was going to go over
And I
every
knew I was
time.
going to go over, and it didn't take no effort.
Mm-hmm.
Second was, Donnie. We just flowed. We had similar styles.
Yeah.
A lot of the good guys like you and Justin, y'all worked a little fast for me.
Yeah, right.
I could do it, but comfortably and feeling just good.
Mm-hmm.
Him, Al, and then Angel, man. It was just he was like a stranger I worked at the time. That man. The first match was like wrestling one of these guys.
Yeah.
See, and I always like to work.
First ball.
I like to work Jay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Roger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jay. I
Chad,
liked
me and
working
Chad
it.
had a bunch of good
Right.
matches.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Ryan
who I worked a
Stone was
lot.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not taking.
When
away
I first
from
started
anyone.
working, when Roger first started booking us in Georgetown, I worked Chad and Jay all the time.
Right.
Right.
Never won, but I worked those guys all the
time. Taxi.
Ran an angle with both of them and never won one match in the angle.
Yeah. Right. It's
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we could talked about that with Chris last week, and it was kind of us coming in new, making sure we wouldn't like get a couple wins and bounce type
Yeah.
shit, which, that's not our character now. You know us, but you didn't know us coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you one that surprised me, and it was really kind of a story. So I met this guy. I was on a bunch of shows with him and never worked him, and I kept telling Chris, man, dude's an asshole, man. He don't talk to nobody else. And Chris kept telling me, I ain't gonna tell y'all his name until I tell y'all. Chris kept telling me, man, he ain't. You just gotta talk to him or you gotta work him. And I was like, man, I'm telling you, he sits by himself. He don't say shit to nobody. And I go down to Nashville and I look on the card and Bear and Chris Michaels.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And brother, we
He's-
go out and he was smooth as butter.
Yeah, he was.
We talked the whole night after and been just cool ever since. But it was just that assumption.
He's very quiet,
very
very
quiet
quiet. Yeah,
dude,
he was.
but he's so cool and because everywhere he goes, he's the main event type guy.
Yeah.
Big Bad Chad's watching.
And he
Heck
was
yeah.
but he
Jimmy
was,
Walls.
He was
What's up,
humble.
X?
He was cool. He
So
was
is
like,
Chris
man,
Crow.
It was a great match. Blah,
Mhm.
blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
On
because
Tuppy Jr.
He was way better than me at the time.
Oh, he's better than a lot.
I
of
mean, he's
guys.
better than a lot of guys.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He didn't act it in the ring. He gave me
Yeah.
as much as
Yeah.
he got,
Oh, yeah.
and we had a great match, and you know that was error on my part, just judging people. You
Yeah.
know, just because he wasn't like us. Because when we come to the locker room, we're cutting up, we're raising hell. We
I got
don't get 'em on the
to
back.
experience that side of Chris Michaels June 5th when me and Andy was going to face each other inside the ring. I came backstage and Chris Michaels just standing there inside the back room because he's the main event, so he's the big star. He's back there inside that room. He's just got the door slightly a little bit open so he can watch the other matches, and he's just getting everything ready. And I'm watching this guy. I'm like, damn, that is a star because he knows what he's got to do tonight.
Dude was smooth. I mean, he didn't say much, but
He could work,
he
man.
was
Man,
good.
he could work.
I remember when
And
Chris and those guys used to work in Georgetown.
I like working Chris, but man, Chris make you feel like you're hurting him even when you ain't. He's an asshole in the ring.
Yeah.
Like I put my arm up. You know, I knew I was working Chris, and I knew I wasn't gonna stiff the boss. So I like put my arm up. He runs into it, and he's like, "Oh, you killed me." I'm like, "Come on, man."
Oh man.
I was supposed to jump him from behind once, and I hit him. And dude, I hit him with a soft shot.
Yeah.
And he went to his knees, and he turned around, and he had a tear in his eye. I was like, "You got to be shitting." He said, "God, you just killed me." Got in the back, held his neck for the next 3 weeks.
Lord.
Like,
I know. Hey, I tell y'all what, I don't care what he says. Ain't nothing funnier than them 3 elbows he laid in the Marriott parking lot. You know what I'm talking about on his party for his wedding.
Oh.
Man, you remember?
Vaguely.
All of a sudden we're walking back to the room and he hits 3
he was on
elbows
fire.
on the concrete. Just one, bam, rolls up, boom. It was a piece of trash or something on the ground, and he was like, he stomped it, then
He did his Ric Flair on it.
It was awesome, man. That's
Yeah,
the
I've
only time
seen
I went
him.
out with Chris. That was it. Only time I ever been out with Chris was on his bachelor.
Yeah, I've seen him earlier this year when he was at AMW and he had his hands handcuffed to the ring post. It was after the match. They lost the damn key. He's sitting there for an hour just handcuffed to the phone. He's goddamn, what the hell are y'all doing here? He's just throwing a fit the whole time. He's handcuffed to that post. I'm like, oh God, he's gonna fucking murder someone.
I mean, when you
Gets up, he's calm.
Honestly, if they would agree, you need to have Chris by himself. You need to have Larry Corey by himself.
Yes.
Like those guys could talk, man. Their stories. We got stories, but man, their stories are back in the before when it was great. Still, you know, it was. We made it great because we were so tight. We all lived in Lexington.
No,
we all lived close to Lexington. If we weren't wrestling together, we was at the bar together. Like we
did that.
everything
Well, we
together.
ribbed Chris up with that stolen car gimmick, me and Larry. But
I never heard
him and Big Bobby Chris stole a van from his work one time and picked Big Bobby up to go do a show. They was doing a show and they didn't have a way, so Chris stole a van and drove it to the show before. But that's where we come up with the rib actually.
Man,
Bobby
that's
Green
funny.
said, "What's up, Scott?"
Hey, now.
No, I mean, Scott was just so natural, man. He just came along so quick.
Yeah,
And
you
like
picked
I
it
said,
up fast because you basically learned in the ring.
Oh, yeah, it was totally. Like I said, the only real training I got was from Bobby Blade up there on Sundays before the show. I mean, I did watch a lot of videos and stuff, I will say that. And
Dude, your brother used to brag on you all the time. So you'd be out there working, and we'd be back there watching the monitor. He'd be like, look, he's never had a day training. Look at that. Look at that.
But it took a while.
yeah.
I mean, and I still didn't figure
Oh yeah, Chris was watching. He's bird dogging. For
Yeah,
sure.
he was sitting there just like this. He's like,
I'm my baby brother now.
Yeah, whatever.
Hey, you notice? Hold on, I'll tell y'all, squash all this shit real quick. He can say Chris did. How many matches we have, motherfucker?
I'm trying to think.
Right, about 3.
Yeah.
Because Chris said I ain't putting him in there fucking bad. Right, that's my brother. He put
hit me with that chair, I
let Bear
wasn't
beat
sure I
on
wanted
Donnie
to.
again. Just let Bear beat on Donnie. Keep sending Donnie out. But no.
How many handicap matches your brother put you in?
None. I know you got one every week.
Dude, every week.
2-on-1, 3-on-1.
And one of them was always Lord Humongous.
Right. He was
man.
I had to work Lord Humongous and Bobby Blade I don't know how many times together. Dude.
That's why I love being a heel, too, because all the big, mean guys were heels. I never had to work Suicide. I never had to work Humongous.
Right.
I tell you what, though, about Scott, and it's a straight shoot. That was his gimmick, and he got it over easy. Because, I mean, if you didn't know him and you walk past him on the dude, he looks like the guy at Kingland with the dip in, and, you know, that thinks he's better than people. But if you meet the guy, it's total opposite. He's a humble dude. He's a good dude. He don't think he's better than nobody. But he'll make you think that. Like, we would go out to them bars, and he'd sit there with his leg crossed.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all took me in some shady places now.
He said, guys,
We took you to all the good places.
Oh, man.
Well, here's the thing. As soon as me and Donnie got to the town, we're asking the concierge. We're like, where's the hole in the walls? Where's the worst place in town with the cheapest beer?
That's what
Scott
we
don't
always...
know this till we show up. And then he's like, why is there all motorcycles here? You know, and then we get in and... Dude, I'll never forget.
So that's why we love traveling with Scott, because he'd always get us a room at the Marriott.
Oh, yeah,
we'd stay at the best rooms because we'd stay with Scott.
He had all the points.
And we didn't have to pay nothing, so we was like, yeah, we'll do the show with Scott. Or we'd be like, hey, man, book Scott.
Right.
Because we knew we'd be able to stay with Scott. So we'd get to the room and be putting our shit up. Me and Bear would slide down, and we would talk to the people that worked the door. Hey, man, where's the nastiest, worst bar? Like, we want to go to a hole in the wall. So then we would go back up and tell Scott, hey, man, old dude told us about this place. It's supposed to be fire. It's good.
And he wanted to do something. Yeah. He ain't the guy to go sit in his room.
No.
Like, he's going.
Back then I wasn't, but now I
Oh, yeah, we're all, look, it's past my bedtime every time I come here. But
that's right.
I got two good ones on Scott, and they're not too bad. They're not too, you know, some of ours were great, but this was mild. But he...
I hope it's real mild.
One was, it's mild, man. I ain't gonna do like that. We were in Bowling Green, and me and Justin had been there the year before. So we go back with Scott, and we're like, man, because this bar, it was our bar, but not Scott's bar. But we wanted to go back. We was like, we're gonna stay at the hotel the bar's at. So as soon as we got the room, Scott's like, where are we at, guys? So it was one of them. We go in. And we're sitting there, and they have a dance contest. Dang. Right? Well, he's mad this night. Like, we've done it to him too many times. He's not drinking. He's sitting there with his leg crossed with his little dip.
He's like Charlie Brown with the football.
Yeah, he's done. So we're sitting in there, all of a sudden they're going to have a dance contest, and Scott just puts his head down because everybody on stage should not be on stage. So when the worst one gets on there, we're all sitting at the table. He gets up on the table with money and starts going, woo!
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't remember this.
Dude, you
got me.
Dude, it was hilarious.
I remember that one.
And the whole bar knew what he was doing. Like, they was getting mad at us because Scott didn't... It was great, dude.
This was in Bowling Green?
In Bowling Green, right? Well, it was Russell right there. You know, we did those 3 fair shots. We did it one year, then you went back and done it the next year with him.
Man.
That was a good one.
When we got him in horseshoes that night.
Oh,
yeah,
Lord.
y'all take me to the best one.
He just walked in, he looked around, he just looked at us, he said, damn it, guys, come on, man. Y'all take me to the best places.
Look,
He was so mad.
This was the second one, and this was, so, me, Scott, Justin, and Ice Train ended up in a room together in Nashville. But Scott couldn't get his points because he waited too long and the room was full.
Really?
So we found some, you know.
Oh, I vaguely remember this one.
And that's when we sent Casey up to talk to the guy, but he thought it was a prostitute. So me and everybody, Scott and Train go to bed. And
there
Scott's in one bed, Train's in the other. I'm supposed to sleep with one, Justin's supposed to sleep with the other. So me and Justin is sitting right out, there's like a wall. You know, we're not going to bed. Shit, we're drinking all night. About 3 o'clock in the morning.
I'm surprised Train's in bed.
Me too.
About 3 o'clock in the morning, Justin said, watch this. He said, watch this. And he opens that door and he goes, hey, Playboy. And he goes, what? And he paid, like you said, he done bought the room. because he couldn't get the one, so he said, "I'll just get it." So then Justin goes, "You gotta get into bed with Train. We got a prostitute coming, bro." His face. He said, "Are you serious? You got a prostitute coming in my room?" And Justin's like, "Yeah, man. We'll be quiet. She's gonna give us 2 for 1.
Oh,
2 for
Lord.
1, dude." Hey, he was tore up. He started to get up, like he was like, "Fuck it, I guess I'll get it." But then we started busting out laughing. He said, "Guys, just go to bed. Like it's like 3 o'clock in the morning."
I vaguely remember.
Justin used to rib the shit out of Scott.
Yeah. He was good at it.
He
the king of the
loved getting you going.
Oh, man.
And also, Scott could drink.
Really?
Like he could.
Oh, don't even
Bro,
start, man.
He could drink and still be straight.
I know you done got out of that stage, and now you.
He one of them old frat boy type. Like he can drink and be cool. Like he knows when we get to a certain point, we're looking to fight.
He get to
and shit.
drinking and then play them stupid love songs on the guitar.
Oh yeah, I remember those songs,
Oh,
baby.
that's enough. Let's talk about some wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, you took the wrestling like it was second nature, even though you never had any training.
Well, like you said, I said, it was kind of bred in me. My dad did it for years. Chris did it before. I'm older than Chris, but he started.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm like
Damn.
16 months older than Chris.
Oh, not much.
Not much. So he did it way
I
before
always
me.
thought you was his little brother. I mean, you know. 'cause
He always said
Well, he
that.
acts that way.
Same
Yeah.
with Al. He's 3 years older than me, and everybody thought I was the big
Yeah,
brother.
right.
You know?
Yeah. So, and Donnie, the same way. We were in the ring when we were little guys, running
Yeah.
around, and Chris and I always did it at home, and like everybody else here
Right.
did. So
Yeah, I
so
mean,
man, you just kind of. Some guys are. I don't want to say I was natural because there's a lot of technique to what you.
But I
gotta
think
do.
when you
does.
grow up around it, it
Mhm.
does come a little more
Yeah,
natural
yeah.
to you
Oh,
than.
man. I mean, I didn't know. I never knew that you had no training. I
Yeah,
just
no.
thought that you were Chris's brother, so you knew how to rap. Like, Al was.
I just remember Chris saying it over and over and over.
Al was an exceptional baseball player,
Mhm.
but they knew I could play a little bit because I was his brother, and I wasn't half as good as he was
right.
as far as baseball. Like Al was tough, but it's kind of like I just honestly just took a job about 2 weeks ago doing what my dad done, and I got in 2 years early because I just walked in and knew what I was doing.
Right.
It's just one of those things. Like you're not going to be around. How many mechanics kid that can't change oil?
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's just one of those things.
Exactly.
But,
And he came from baseball.
but I mean, honestly, like
That's another one that was smooth as shit
Yeah.
as Ryan
Right,
Stone.
yeah, I
Stone
said
was
his
fun to
name
work.
earlier. Yeah, he was good.
Uh,
We had really good matches.
But honestly, Scott probably the most genuine guy in the back that I've met.
Thank you. They appreciate it.
I mean, honestly, if you think about it, Casey Scott, Chris became. I think Chris had a kind of a transfer because Chris used to be. They can say what they want. I knew Chris when he was a badass. Chris used to be a badass
Oh,
back
I
in the
know.
day.
I know he did.
And I knew it because he run when I was telling this you didn't hear it. When I met Chris Hayes, he worked the door at Club Zero
Yeah,
for
right,
my cousin,
right.
and I mean that was a rough place.
Yeah.
And that's how and they just called him Dirty Chris. I had no idea. I loved wrestling. I had no idea he's a wrestler, and just got to know him as Dirty Chris. And then Chucky called me, said, "Hey, Handsome Jimmy's gonna be in Georgetown." I said, "You're full of shit."
That's what I
He said, "Man, they got wrestling every week." I said, "You're full of shit." I had no idea
Yeah.
that was going on. My whole life, I was. And,
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I grew up on Memphis. you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
Saturday
we
morning.
all did. Yeah.
And then so me and Chuck went that one time, and here come Chris. I said, that's Dirty, and they called him Dirty. I said, oh, it all made sense. And I'm glad that when I came, he was a heel.
Yeah.
The first time I saw him, he was a heel.
Right.
Because he's honestly him and X the best two heels that.
See, you never got to watch his daddy.
Yeah, I did. I seen him. He was older. I thought he was Mexican. I swear I did. He was on that first show.
He used to be.
He
He
had
was.
that black mustache and black hair, and he was so dark.
Yeah.
I thought he was.
The
oh,
Mac-
you already did it.
Yeah, I poured mine in my beer.
Yeah.
The Mac Attack Ron Starr was my favorite
Yeah, they
dude.
were something.
He used to be able to talk so much shit, and he could work, man.
Yeah, they were good back then. All those guys could. It seemed like.
Man, I loved watching Rowdy Red.
Yeah, he could go. I always liked his
But
stuff.
I honestly watching X and Chris go around the ring is what got me wanting to wrestle. Like, that's what I wanted to do. I said, you know what? If I can't do anything else, I know how to piss people off.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a mean dude, but man, I can play one.
Yeah.
And I can go all the way, you know. But he can go further
Mm-hmm.
because he's really an asshole in real life, bro. I promise you. So you know, we hung out. We could hang out because I mean.
You think this boot was stiff?
Yeah, I guarantee.
Oh,
it.
guarantee it. Listen, when we were first doing Sterling, we still kayfabe.
Right.
So
Oh yeah.
me and Donnie could hang out and go places together. We both heels.
Yeah.
So we go to Walmart to get tape or whatever. No security. No security. We're walking in and see people and they're like, fuck you. And I'm just like, keep walking, bro. Keep walking.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, bitch. Who you talking to, you fucking whore? And I'm like, that bro, we're in Walmart. You're gonna fucking kill. These motherfuckers got knives and everything. And he didn't care. He was a prick all the time. All the rookies, he treated them like shit. Like, even like Larry D and shit when they first come, man, he was a fucking asshole to
Oh
them.
man.
I remember Justin.
Builds
Justin
character.
hated that motherfucker.
Yeah, it does.
Builds character.
But I liked work. Like me and Justin also had great chemistry, but Justin was kind of one of those real skilled but heavy guys.
I was gonna say,
Like
you talking
Rob,
about Cat? He was heavy.
Yeah, Justin, Rob. You know what? They didn't like Justin played baseball and stuff coming up. But I don't think those guys. You know, like he loved wrestling, and man, when he got the itch, he was all in 100%. But I think that's the first sport he was in 100%.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he played baseball, but he just kind of, you know, kind of natural athlete and played it. You know, played basketball, same. Just liked to play. Kind of a natural athlete, just never. But he never tried out for like an organized basketball. He probably could have played. He was actually we used to play on the back courts over in Eastland, and he was good, man. So if he would have, you know, bought into it, he probably would have been a good basketball player. But
Well, with me, with the wrestling, I didn't start till like, I don't know, 98, 97,
I mean,
99.
Yeah,
I
you
was
got in late.
27, 28
Yeah.
years old. And then once I did get in, when I started, I was only doing it in the winter months.
Right.
You know, when I
Because
wasn't
you
doing
had
the
to-
baseball.
yeah, you had
I
to
never
baseball.
hardly did
Hey,
it from
so, hold on,
February
let's
to...
pause. Let's pause and let's go there.
Let
the
that's what
people
I was...
know who you are.
What do you mean?
Let them know who you are.
Like what I do?
Yeah, everything.
I'm a professional baseball scout.
Right. So
With the
when we
last-
say he's got the money and he's got the rooms, this is why.
But
I didn't know if you wanted to.
Oh,
you
it
know.
didn't matter, but I'm
So
just...
Plus
Scott's
that-
a professional scout for the Rockies.
yeah.
Plus that's where he came from when he got into wrestling.
Yeah, so I got in late. I went through college, played college baseball. Like I said, I was always
Begged him to
involved
play
with
softball.
it.
Begged this motherfucker to play softball for years.
I played
and
one year, didn't I?
One
For
year.
1 year or something. It was fun.
And you killed it.
Yeah.
You hit like 100 home runs.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't remember
and
that.
then didn't
but-
come. And Chris came out and hit like 100 home runs and didn't come back.
So yeah, like I didn't get started till real late, and then when I did get started, it was always I don't know, from like September to January or October to January, and then I would do it some in Nashville in the spring when I was down there
Yeah, 'cause you
here and
was
there for
Now
Mike
we
Porter
would
or-
book around it though.
Yeah.
You know, we knew when we were available.
and who was it? Mike Porter, Burt Prentice. I
Yeah.
did some for Tony Falk down there. And then there were some other places down in Lewisburg, Tennessee, and Tullahoma. So yeah, I mean, I got around some. That was more in the springtime, more so when I was
Right.
down there doing baseball. I took my gear and they always let me come. I mean, there was never a time
Man,
where they
that-
said, "No, don't come." You know,
Man,
we're
I don't know
booked,
if anybody could bump better than Justin. To be honest, like that was the bumping and selling this motherfucker. He's gagging and snotting, like selling him. Man, Jay, I don't even
Now
know.
people can't see this, right?
No.
No.
So
No.
It's Donnie, Roger Ruffin, and Ryan Stone is wrestling Justin, myself, and Kelly Charles.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, in Richmond, a 6-man tag. It was hot.
Yes, it is. I mean, you can see by the crowd.
Yeah,
Yeah, we packed Richmond out a couple times.
Right.
yeah.
You know,
Richmond was a hard town to draw in anyway for some reason.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you one. Here's a good story. I got a story. So me and Scott, Donnie, Justin, we used to go to Nashville every other week, every other Tuesday.
On those Tuesday nights. Yeah.
We did TV tapings, and then we'd come home, go back every week. And it was going good, and it was good, and this is when it all ended for all of. I basically ended it for all of us, and it's kind of one of those touchy subjects, but the story is the story. Bert Apprentice was a gay guy, and he liked to take advantage of the young guys.
Okay.
And when he would give them a push, and that's how you furthered your career with Bert. If you wasn't a big ugly guy, you could be a big ugly guy like me, and he'd put you through. But if you was a good looking guy, you had to do the deal. So we were down there, and this was the best story. It was 2 days before Christmas. We were all supposed to go. Of course, Scott's getting a room. So me and Larry go down early.
Oh yeah,
And then the snowstorm
Yes.
hits, and Scott can't get there. And he's like, "Bro, I'm sorry, but I can't get the room because I'm not there to sign for it."
right.
And me and Larry got like $200 between us. Like, we're fucked.
It was a bad snowstorm.
Like,
it was
and
awful.
we're there. So it's me, Larry, and Casey, and we're out. We wait. We buy the cheapest motel. We go and wait and go to the show, get our little pay, and we use our pay to get home. Well, while the snow's coming down, we're all standing out back just chilling, talking. Bert walks up. I don't even know if I've ever told y'all this. But this is why
I remember
I know
some
the
of
story.
this. Yeah.
This is why they quit calling us. Well, me and Casey standing there, and Bert's like, "Hey, blah, 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 give me a hug." And Casey's like, "No, I'm good, handshake." He's like, "No, come here, just give me a hug." And he's got two big dudes standing beside him. I can't remember, it was the black dudes.
Probably that Malt Doom or whatever the fuck his name is.
Whoever, and I was big and I'm crazy. Back then, I was lunatic. So we're sitting there, and he made that advance, and Casey's like, "No, man, blah, blah, handshake him, Casey." And he reached out to her and grabbed
Chelsea said your government name.
Yeah, oh, man. What'd I say?
Oh, man.
She said,
She just put Daniel
guess your
Bruno.
name.
I don't know what you did. What'd you
And
do?
pause the story real quick. Kyle Maggard said,
And
Holy shit.
Here's the thing. The story's got nothing to do about his sexuality. It's about what he did. He'd take advantage of young guys. And he reached out and tried to grab Casey because he had his gear on, so he had his tights on. He reached out and tried to grab him.
so he was a Pat Patterson type.
And he's right. So Casey pushed him away, and he done it again. And he done it again.
She just got on the line.
So-
This is the first
She
thing
said,
she
just check
hears.
your phone, babe.
It might be.
And real quick before he finishes,
Kyle Maggard.
he said, holy shit, Playboy Scott Hayes, I thought he was dead.
Yeah. Eddie Browning just texted me about something up there with his promotion there, but I
Nice.
couldn't make it.
Appalachian Mountain Wrestling.
Yeah, Appalachian Wrestling.
So- He done it a couple times. He done it 2 or 3 times, and so that last time he read. Casey at this time is only 19 or 20.
Yeah, he's young. Yeah.
I'm 22, 23. He's with me. He's a kid. So he reached out that last time, man, and I caught his wrist, and I just locked it. And I said, "Bro," he said, "No." And them 2 dudes bucked out. And I said, "What y'all want to do?" And then he said, "Just go do your match." So I went out, then we did our match, and then we barely survived getting home, which is a whole nother story. But
Yeah, I was nervous for you guys.
right,
I mean, 'cause
it was bad,
as
man. We had to go
crap.
15 miles an
Yeah,
hour
it
on the
was
highway
awful.
from
Dude,
Nashville.
you did
Lexington.
that all the time, though.
Yeah, when I got high. But anyway, man, after I done that, he called Chris and said, "I don't need none of your guys no more." So I got us banned, but I still feel in my heart I did the right thing.
Where
did.
were those? Where did we tape the? Where they tape those?
At the Stadium Inn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Yeah. And I went back for Tony Falk back
Yeah,
when
he had a
was
few
booking
people.
that.
He never
and
had me back. For
Yeah,
sure.
I went back a lot actually, and just worked here and there for Bert. I vaguely remember that story, but
No, it happened, bro. I wouldn't lie. Like,
yeah,
I know you don't think I'm lying. But I'm
No,
saying, man,
I
I wouldn't make
definitely-
that up.
yeah.
Man. I wouldn't blow that opportunity for no reason.
hmm
Because it was a great opportunity for us. It really was. It was probably the best opportunity we ever had.
yeah, it
But
was.
at the time, I'm like, he's my friend and he's a kid.
Right.
You're not-
Well,
Yeah.
Bird had connections.
Yeah.
Right. And so it kind of fucked me over.
I remember down there working for them doing that show, and Jamie Noble had just got released from WWE, and we're down there. And he's down there at the Stadium Inn, and it's like 5 minutes before the show. And Steve-O, you remember Steve-O? He said, "Playboy, you're going to work with Jamie Noble." I'm like, "Damn, it's 5 minutes before the show." So shit, we go out there, and he pinned me in about
You hear me,
5
John?
minutes,
Yeah.
and I was like, I thought I need a little more time to prepare myself for that, you know. And I did ask him. I
They
said,
say
"You're
he's
not-"
really fun to work.
Oh,
I
he
never
was
got to
good
work
until
him.
he chopped the crap out of me. I didn't like that.
Yeah,
too much,
Jamie
but-
Noble was like
Yeah,
that.
but I said, "You're not too fired up. You know, you just came from Madison Square Garden. Now you're at the stadium." He said, "Oh no, baby, I'm ready to go." I was like, "Oh shoot." So yeah, he got me good. I didn't like that one too much.
Hey, but at least you got the work someone that they were considering WD guy.
Yeah, he was definitely good. Yep.
I wanna get on here and say, man, when I was a kid and it was out at the Armory, Mount Sterling, every time I heard Rock Star and seen the Playboy
Oh,
gear, I
yeah.
was fired up.
So you gotta get-
You were. I can't really remember much. The person I remember most is you and Chucky.
Oh really?
And,
Yeah.
like you was my favorite.
Oh,
Really,
I
because of Nickelback. Which is,
Oh, you like-
He lived that gimmick too.
Oh yeah.
Which is crazy. Like, he was my daughter's favorite.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
remember
really?
that.
Courtney absolutely
Courtney.
loves Scott.
Yeah.
And we go, and she never really got into wrestling that much. She would come to the show, but she was on fire every time he come out. And that's the only one that
I
she
remember
ever
that,
cheered
yeah.
for like that.
How's she doing?
She's doing good,
Where
man.
she live? Here?
She's in Shelbyville.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Yep, she got married.
Well, tell her I said hello if you talk to her.
I will.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, they just had a baby, so
Okay.
now I'm papaw.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So it's different. It changes you, for sure.
I bet it does.
Changes you quick. So do you ever want to do this anymore?
You know, I mean, I think the last match I had, golly, I think I was about 47 or 4. I think I went up and worked for Kyle Maggard up in on Christmas night one night with Eddie Browning. I'm sure I
Yep.
put him over like I always did.
Appalachian Mountain
Yeah,
West.
I think it was on Christmas night, and I think about it, but I'm like, somebody would have to go real slow with me. I mean,
Oh.
it'd have to be. I'm not doing none of that. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But
What he's referring to is we just saw him flip over the top rope onto Larry D.
yeah, there wouldn't be any of that. But
Yeah.
no, every now and then you think about it, but
Well, you get that itch,
Yeah,
and I
right.
think all wrestlers will always get the itch.
mm,
But I easily come back to reality now.
yeah,
Like, I'll get the itch, and I'm like, man, you know what? I could probably do it one more time. And then I'll go to put my shoes on, and I got to hold my breath. I'm like, you know what? I probably can't do it.
yeah.
Sometimes you get humbled.
Oh man, I guarantee you, I would blow up in matches when I was in halfway decent shape. I couldn't imagine what would happen now.
Oh, it would be awful.
Mm-hmm.
They said Undertaker. Well, he was on a podcast a couple days ago, the Logan Paul one or whatever, and he said like he still wants to do one more match.
But in his head, he says that he wants to, but his
Yeah.
body tells him.
Yeah, your
You
body
cannot.
tells you, hey, man.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to listen to your body more than you do your head,
Yep.
because your head will fool you.
Yep.
It fooled me several times. I should have quit a long time ago. And I kept coming back because that one right there.
Yeah.
Mr. Larry D.
Larry would call me, dude, I need you. I need you. You know, it's always your buddies that put the guilt trip on you to get you to come back for one
Right.
more.
Oh man.
And
I don't know. I would probably just crumble if I hit the mat nowadays. I don't think I could do it. I can't get, I'm down in the floor playing with the dogs. I can't get back up hardly.
So did you ever get married?
No, but Lisa and I still, we lived together for the last 12 years.
I was gonna say, y'all been together for a long time.
Yeah. We've, I guess, it might be longer than that.
And that was another thing. He'd show up at the show, and he's got the hot blonde with him. And everybody knew when she walked in, she don't belong here. Because she looked way out of place, brother.
Oh, it was
She did not look like she belonged.
They don't call him Playboy for nothing.
Dude, and Lisa's the best. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah. She's
Absolute
with the dogs
sweetheart.
right now, yeah.
Bobby Green said that he don't remember if he ever worked with you.
I think we did at some point. I'm sure, didn't we? I'm sure I did when you and Bobby tagged at some point.
I have no idea.
Had to. Whether
Maybe
it was
when y'all did the PIT thing.
Yeah, maybe.
See, I loved that gimmick. When
Chucky
That
loved
was
it
good.
too.
when
That's
the
what Chucky said earlier too.
yeah
The PITs were on
the
fire.
PITs when you, Larry, and Tommy Gum was in that group.
Yeah, oh,
that
man.
was the best stuff.
It was
Because
good.
them two didn't fit the part at all.
Yeah, no, we had Larry and Tommy and
And Larry had that-
I've been seeing that recently.
Yeah, I saw that
What the
Chucky
hell
little
is Larry?
It
I was like, where'd that from?
Brother, and Larry had that tight ass friggin' dude. It was barely fitting him. And Tommy Gunn had that his teeth was missing.
And we had Patty, 'cause she was our
And then
valet.
Patty, yes.
Oh, it was Playboy Patty.
Yes,
Oh man, we got some heat.
dude, it was good stuff
It was-
though. And the thing was, y'all was doing the whole thing where there was a trio, so you didn't know who you was going to get to.
Yeah,
So if you was going against the Playboys in training, you might get any two of the three they had.
You're right.
On YouTube, Avery Corman said,
Oh,
"Who's your favorite niece, Scott?"
Avery Corman. That's Chris's girl. Yep, love her to death. First day of school today. She didn't call me like she said or send me a picture.
And she wanted to know who's your favorite niece.
Oh, you know who that is. She knows.
Until the other ones get
Yeah,
on.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, those PIT, it was fun. We would go PIT and the crowd would just suck. PIT. They would just.
The music, everything was good.
Yeah.
What was the theme song?
What was it?
I can't even remember now, but.
Ah,
Oh, was it Boy George? Was it that
It
one?
was a Boy George
yeah.
song.
I Know You Miss Me or something. Oh, man,
Yeah.
we had some good heat with that.
that
one.
was good stuff.
And
That's the way to do it, though.
Yeah, it was. See, I didn't take that one too good. I can tell you that much.
Yep, I could tell because you landed and
Yeah.
immediately you could tell that you were partially selling, but at the same time you're like,
That was
what
for
the
real.
hell was that?
Says your mama's watching, B. You missed that.
What's
You
up?
never got cussed by Asia Joe.
Yeah.
She
Also-
she threatened to burn my house down with all my kids and
Oh.
family in it.
And Mama Bruner was talking about, Barry, you were bad for breaking Donnie Green's leg.
That's fact. He did do it.
Was it on purpose?
You know what it was? I was getting a strap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he's gonna make you.
wait, I might have to take like a poll or something on Instagram, because he has his side of the story and you have your side of the story.
Brother, we
It's
worked
1-1.
the angle for a year, and it was the big blow off. And Chris come to me and said, "It's your turn." And then he goes out and breaks my leg, so then he gets to keep the strap. So then he has it for another 6 months.
When was the decision in the ring where you were like, "Yo, wrap me up"? Like, when you knew that your leg was broke and you was no longer champ?
When I went to give him an atomic drop and he laid out for a spine buster, and his fat ass hit my leg, and your dad was almost 400 pounds in,
Yeah,
so when he come down and hit my leg, it sounded like someone shot a gun off in the building. And then I'm laying there and my legs bent all up, and then he goes to gagging and puking and stuff.
Was it here at the? Was it this?
Right
Yeah,
there.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's one thing I remember about Donnie. Chris had him in all different kinds of matches
All the time, man.
All the time. It was cage matches, strap matches.
I used to tell him, I was like, "Hey,
handicap
brother, I'm not a Wildcat Chris Harris. I'm not one of those guys,
matches. Oh man,
you know." But
That's
he'd
true.
have me in the
I know.
craziest shit. I'd come out and I'd have to work all the PITs.
Uh-huh. Right?
Or-
Yeah.
You were reliable.
Yeah.
That's why.
It was.
You were the
funny.
guy that he could rely.
I was thinking, man, what did I do to piss Chris off sometimes? Brother, when you work Bobby Blade and Humongous 2 weeks in a row in handicap match, you start thinking, maybe I did make somebody mad.
Especially after the Bobby Blade elbow.
Who is Humongous?
What? I don't know.
You don't know who Lord of Humongous is?
I don't know
Look
his
him up.
name, but
Ryan was his name. Ryan.
He was a big guy.
Huge.
Wore
he was
this
7
mask
foot.
like based
Yeah,
off
he
Mad
was
Max.
he was a 7-footer and he was jacked to the max, dude.
Yeah.
And he hadn't been wrestling that long either.
No.
He just had the look. Like he had the look of a. He hadn't wrestled long either. So everything he did was real.
Yeah.
Like it there was no work to it.
He was literally
Trying to see.
beating on him for real.
Ryan Wilson. That was it. Yeah, good dude. Good dude. I wrestled in Richmond one night. I think he was on contract with the WWE.
Yeah, he was
stuff.
doing.
Mhm.
I talked to him and I guess he had a bad match one night. It was a dark match. He had a bad match and he come back and his guys like that match sucked. He said release me and kept on walking. By the time he got to the dressing room, they had his stuff. Is what he said. They released him, I guess. I don't know if it went like that, but that's what he said it did. He said, if you didn't like it, release me. He said he was tired of being on the road anyway.
But at least he got to be there.
Comes Big Jim with the kendo. Boom.
Yep. I remember I watched that on the best of.
Yeah.
He hits you with whip it, takes you out.
You and Larry always had good matches
we
too.
did. We wrestled a lot there in Mount Sterling, and we took it on the road a lot too. I mean, we all different places in Kentucky and Tennessee. We had good chemistry.
What was your favorite, I guess, building to work in?
Well,
That's a good one.
That is.
when it was packed, or not packed, but I was the Nashville Fairgrounds Sports Arena. It was.
Yeah.
But
Asylum?
Yeah, back
that's
before
good.
it was the Asylum, but that was a good one. And we had some good shows down there. I remember I was working for you guys at the in Lexington.
Yeah.
And did the first match with somebody, I can't remember, maybe Jordan Cage. And remember getting in the car and double timing it to Nashville. It was an hour different. I was on the main event down there.
Damn.
And the first match up
Yeah,
there,
you said you got to put me on one because I would have never put you on one.
So
you was taking him with you.
yeah, and I got down there and got there for the. I did that Christmas night too.
Where's
one night.
Bear verse? I want to see me and Scott.
It should be on here.
But that
It's on the best of.
the
Playboy
fairgrounds
stage.
was nice. It was spacious. It was big. You know,
Man,
it wasn't great when nobody was in there though. I mean, when you had a
Yeah. Tattersalls, man, that was great.
You mentioned Jordan Cage.
Yeah.
He's tuning in.
oh, did he?
Tattersalls
Yep.
was
Cage.
great. And
He was
Varsity
good too.
Blues
Dang, or he
was-
is good.
Hey,
Yeah,
I
he's
loved
still
his
good.
matches with him.
Recently.
Varsity Blues was good.
The best with when we would wrestle, I thought we had good chemistry too, Jordan. And I hated his elbow off the top rope. I used to rib him all the time. He would go up.
Still.
He would go up and come in. I would roll out of the way.
But I know.
He
That's
was
when you
still-
won the belt.
Hey,
Oh yeah,
to be little, he was stiff. To be
yeah.
little,
I never felt
it
that.
just didn't hurt because he was a
I
little
didn't.
guy.
I didn't. So I remember this now, right? That right there. This is one of the times Donnie was ribbing the crap out of me the next week, and he got me so on fire. And I never got pissed, and I was pissed at him. Oh, you got the strap. You're the
Your brother
brother
put you over.
put me over. You got the belt, champ. I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. I said, I'm getting ready to give the belt right back to him next week.
You know, he was just talking shit.
Oh
was
man, he
over-
had me on fire. I was so mad at it.
But you know how hard it was to get Scott because he
Oh,
never
yeah.
let nothing get to him.
Oh, I was mad that night.
So once I knew I had you, I was like, oh, I'm not letting up.
And I had this.
Look at Mark Morris as the real.
Oh man,
It was good times though, man.
yeah.
Whose elbow drop would you say was the
hi.
stiffest?
Blades are.
Blade,
Yeah, but I don't,
Blade.
But I never wrestled Bobby that much. I don't
You
think
didn't
I
have to
ever.
wrestle him. He'd do it
Well-
to you on the side. He'd do it to me by
Yeah,
missing
well,
the other
yeah,
guy.
right. I just never.
We ask everyone that.
And he'd
Yeah.
go, oh, on the way
Oh
down.
yeah, I, mean,
like,
I know he gets it. He gets.
drive it home.
I watch him hit other people with him like, oh, it hurt me.
Yeah.
That and Donnie's boot to the head probably the stiffest two things.
What are you
in
talking
wrestling.
about? That was light.
Man, come on, dog.
Yeah.
Did I ever get
I
you
still-
with the boot to the head?
Not that I remember.
I
See,
still
he don't
can't-
remember it.
I still can't remember everything on Tuesdays.
See, he don't remember it.
Mm-mm. I never. The only thing either one of you guys never did, except for that chair shot. That was the only time.
Yeah. No,
And
when
I
we
was-
wrestled, it was good matches.
Yeah, that's the only
we
thing.
just
I
didn't
remember.
wrestle much.
Not
Me and
right.
Scott never got to wrestle each other very much.
Yeah, because you were way up the card and I was down here in the.
Nah, because his brother's like, no.
You ain't hurt my baby.
Burst if you ain't hurt my brother.
Well, I remember.
I don't know why everybody said I wasn't that. Honestly, come on, dog.
Come on, man.
Come on, dog.
Yeah.
You gotta be
Look,
honest.
you're the one that caused him to wear the
Oh,
patch.
here we go.
That was one of those TNA gimmicks he had, I think.
I think it's because Barrett thumbed him down there at Rogers.
So he started wearing the eye
I think I
patch.
only worked Cat twice.
Yeah, I didn't.
Once in a tag and once one-on-one.
Now, I worked the angle with Cat for Chris. It was good.
I worked him at Continental one night. That was hot too. I think I worked him by the pool.
I did too one night by that pool.
That was awesome.
I
That was
worked
a
the- I
great
worked the
setup.
best by the
Hey,
pool.
by
That
the
was
pool was the setup, bro. It was awesome.
And I know Cat was like, God, I gotta work Scott Hayes.
I tried every way. I was like, Chris, I want to go in that pool, man. I want somebody to give me a hip
Did you ever do the show for Roger that he has that's set up by the pool? He still does it.
Cool.
They got a location down
No.
there, and they set it right up by this pool, and all of them were, everybody wanted to take a bump into the and Roger would be like, "Don't bump in the pool."
I think my biggest thing with I love Roger.
Yeah.
Brilliant mind, great dude.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing that kept me distant from the NWF was Kurt. He didn't like that me and Al took so much time coming out. And we're like, bro, you take that from us, what else we got? Like, that's our whole deal. Like, we get all the heat. We don't get the heat in the ring. We get some heat in the ring. We get the heat before we go out. That's just what we do. That's what Jim taught us to do,
Yep.
And it just wasn't their style. It was that up north style where it's, you get in there and you bust your ass and you get out. And
Right.
we were
Ludlow Pool Show, yep.
Yep.
Oh,
and
I love-
Chucky
no, I know.
Smooth still has on tape when you fell between the ropes
Oh,
at
that
the
was a
STL
good one.
Jubilee.
Yes. Oh, can't remember who I was working with, but we got
I
shot
remember
off
that.
towards the stage, and the guy that I was shot off, I can't remember who was in the match or what. All I know is when we got shot off, that whoever got shot off with me hit the ropes first, and that top rope came back and hit me in the top of the head, and I went between the top rope and the middle rope, in between and went outside the ring in between the
I
stage.
remember
and the
seeing it.
ring.
I wasn't.
Oh,
there.
that was messed up. I was just on the outside down there going, I can't believe he's dying laughing. I can't believe that just happened.
And Chris Holland, go check on my brother. Go check on my brother.
As a boy. But no, man, we got, man, that was, if I don't take in, the only reason I don't regret it is because of you guys.
Yeah.
I regret the time away from my family and my kids. But outside of that, man, if I didn't make the relationships I made, then it wouldn't have been worth it.
Oh, yeah. I hear
Exactly.
I'm not saying it was worth it the time
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
gone.
right.
I'm just saying that's what I got. I didn't get money out of it.
you.
I didn't get exposure out of it. I got lifelong friendships out of it. And man, those ain't easy to come by. I mean, I ain't seen Scott in
Yeah,
years. And
right,
the first thing when I seen him, I cut a joke on him. Because, I mean, that's just what we do. It's like we were just together yesterday.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
That's camaraderie.
and we don't have to be right there to know that we're right there for each other. I could call him anytime and he'd be right there.
Look
Same
at you,
for me.
son. Smooth as look.
Hey, it's smooth.
Scoot.
They can't keep up with him.
Nah.
I'm blown up. I'm ready to
Hey,
tag out
yo,
now. Let's
hey,
get out of
That's a
here.
different guy, though.
Yeah.
That's a
Hey,
different guy.
watching him and Eddie, they would get up and down,
Oh,
up and
God.
down.
But
That's why, that wasn't my style.
Yeah, but
you know.
sometimes that stuff was like Chris always used to say is, man, y'all go too far. You got to let some stuff register sometimes,
Man, but it
And
was
I didn't understand that at the time, but
really, it was a good mix because
Yeah,
you had
yeah,
guys
right.
doing that,
yeah,
and you were the only guys doing what you did. So honestly, I'd never say Chris was wrong, but in that perspective, you
Maybe
look
you
at
need
it.
a little
If you
something
got
like that on
5
the show.
matches
Yeah.
and 4 of them are doing that,
right,
well, there's nothing wrong with one going bam, 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 bam,
yeah,
bam.
right.
That was a good thing when NWF started merging us MWA guys. They needed that at the time. They needed some guys to come out and get them people fired up.
Mm-hmm.
Man, when I first got to the Madison, they had no security.
Right.
So after the first week, they played my music. The people combined, and I couldn't, because it was a long walk
from the up top
to the ring.
Right.
They combined, and I couldn't get, and I got Austin with me. Like I ain't got no backup. It's me and Austin Medler. He'll try with his shoe, but I mean, so we're trying to get to the ring, and we can't get to the ring because these people are like, "Fuck you!" Like there's no. So then the next week there's security. So I guess with Roger, we added that extra expense too. Like I got to have security for these fucking guys. They're they're gonna get these people crazy.
We met Austin Medler recently.
But he loved it.
Yeah, right.
Like Roger loved it. One time I went up there, and I hadn't been up there in a long time, and his whole show was without that. And I went out there and I did an easy match, but it was good. I did the teeter-totter and the ropes. I did all the good. And he said, "Man, you know what? Top to bottom, that was the most entertaining match of the night because you worked the people and you taught the guy." I can't remember. I think I was working. I want to say Muldoon because that's when I got hurt. That was when it kind of went downhill for me. I got hurt working. No, because that was a run-in on Muldoon, so I can't remember who I was working. But I worked somebody, and, it was just a really good, entertaining match, and I put the guy over. And then when I got hurt, I did a run-in on Muldoon. He chokeslammed me. And
I took that one before.
My hip popped out of place. It didn't have nothing to do with the bump. It was just, all those floor bumps and all that shit.
Right.
Dude, it was the worst thing. Dude, it was awful. Man, they tried to come move me. I said, "Don't fucking touch me, bro." Like they're like, "You're supposed to get back in." I said, "I'm not fucking moving. You better get somebody in." Like I knew I was hurt, and I was hurt bad. It popped out, but it popped back in. But it's still like I couldn't move. Like I laid there until because it was the main event. I laid there and sold. And they ended the match, and they cleared the people out, and then all the boys had to come and help me up.
What about when this fucker here started wearing that stupid shit, that red hot shit?
Oh, man. Fuck that. Him and Kelly.
God.
What was that called? Golly, I can't remember.
Red Hot. It was called Red Hot or
Was
something.
it?
Him and
remember.
Kelly.
It lit you up pretty good.
There was like a group of y'all started wearing it, and I was like, what the?
So awful.
Dude, I hated working you when you had that shit on. I would beg, "Scott, please don't put it." Dude, it makes me look red. I don't need a tan or nothing. And you would smell like a big friggin' cinnamon stick.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
And then,
And it'd get in your eyes, and it would burn. It'd be on your face. All of a sudden, you're working him. He's got you in a headlock, and you just feel your face start just burning.
Kelly would
It's on
wear
fire.
that or 5 gallons of baby oil. And every time you go to shoot him off, your arm just slide off. And
You were talking about getting hurt. I was blessed. I don't think I ever really had like
that was
an
the only
injury
big
in the
injury
ring.
I had was that one.
We were at. God,
I'm
working-
sure I had concussions and didn't know it, but
Oh, well, I had one that night when you hit me with the chair. But the only time I remember
that's
was
not confirmed. Was that confirmed by a doctor, or you
it
just
wasn't.
fabricated
Yeah.
this?
Well, you brought me to my knee. I know that much. I about didn't get back up for the finish.
I almost got fired over
I'm
that.
still somewhat disabled from my injury.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
here we go.
But we were doing a show
when
in.
the
every
rain comes,
time.
you feel something?
Dude,
Real
every
quick,
time the weather changes.
Real quick, Mama Bruner did say, "Why'd you break your leg for?"
Mhm.
Your mom knows. Your mom knows.
She told me to do it. She didn't like you.
I don't believe that. She wants me to do the dirty dancing scene with her. She wants me to give her
Too
the
far.
lift.
Too far.
What?
Brandon, what she be wearing, man?
She gonna wear the t-shirt, got the sides cut out of it.
Did any of you guys go to Princeton, Kentucky with us that night? They kind of co-promoted a show with a group out of Nashville. I don't know. I know Larry was there.
I didn't go.
No, I seemed like Larry D and myself and Chris. I don't know, but that we were talking about injuries. Myself and Chris wrestled Jeff Daniels, who I talked about earlier, and Steve-O. But the main event, the draw, was Lawler versus Dundee.
Yeah.
Dude,
And it was
Steve
packed.
He's like 300 pounds.
Well, I joined the club. And but that's the only time we were working. I mean, it was early in the match. It's in Kentucky, and it's packed in this gym.
Right.
I mean, packed. There's 3,000 or 4,000 people in there. Right at the beginning of the match, I'm on fire, and Jeff goes to throw a punch, and I duck it, and his knuckle hits the top of my head and gashes it.
Oh, yeah.
There's blood everywhere, and we had to, you in Kentucky.
Keep working.
I wish we could have. I was like,
yeah,
shoot. We were like, dang. So I tag out to Chris. I'm trying to get the blood stopped off my head, and couldn't do it. And finally, we just had to go to the finish. I mean, in front of all these people, and I'm like gushing blood. I mean, it was like legit coming out of there. So I finally get it stopped sometime during the show. I mean, it's I can't get it stopped.
It's
so,
your head.
Yeah, so we're 3 hours from the house, and we're driving. I've got it stopped, and I'm about a mile from my house, getting ready. I sneeze. That thing opened back up again. I had to go to the emergency room. Yeah, I was in there all night. Got it stapled. They put staples in that thing, but other than that,
I've been there before.
Psycho Sam threw that bell that time. He was wrestling Justin. He hit Justin with the bell. And then, because he's blind, he hits Justin with the bell and then throws the bell down on the ring. Well, he goes to spike the bell on the ring, and he throws it straight down and hits Justin right at the top of the head. Splits his head, and we get back to Justin's house. Wasn't you there? I super glue his head back together.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, but your finger was stuck to it.
So all the guts were still hanging. So I shoved them back in with my finger, and then we glued it. And when I put it together, my thumb was stuck to it. So when I pulled it off, it opened right back open. He was like, "Just fucking, just leave it alone."
I bet Justin was loving. This is great. This is great. I can hear him say, "This is great."
I was wrestling Shane at Varsity Blues, and we was having a street fight. And he hit me with a can, and he had hit me with it a couple times already, and that seam was popped, and man, it cut like butter.
Really?
And it was the best color ever. I mean, we just went on with it for like a couple minutes and went home.
Yeah.
Man, it actually, I mean, I still got the scar, but.
What was the place over here behind Dairy Queen off of in Woodhill? Didn't some guys wrestle in there behind?
Cadillac Ranch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We did.
That's the first time I ever saw you guys.
Yeah.
And
that was good shows too.
Were you on it? I know you were, because I think
it was their shows.
Was it?
It was
Dad and them.
Yeah.
I guess Chris must have been on the show
because they knew Brad Alfred.
And I never met you guys.
Yeah.
I think wasn't it Chris's show and Dad got Chris in there.
I have no idea.
I know we was over there. I remember helping put the ring and stuff up.
Show. I know that. I think they had booked Chris and he brought Scott with him.
Maybe. I was in the crowd just watching.
He brought Cat too.
Right.
And I'm like,
those was pretty good shows.
I worked earlier than you in the night, and then you came out. I was like, he already worked once. I thought I couldn't tell the difference. I was a long way from the ring or whatever, but.
Oh, me and Al.
No, Al worked a single match before you, and then he came back, but it was actually you that had come back for like the main event or whatever it was. I was like, damn, he's coming back out, but it was
they
different guys.
Big Bobby wasn't about not getting double use out of it if he could.
Look how smooth you were though with that DDT.
I didn't like that at all.
No, that wasn't a good one. The good one's
that tornado DDT off the rope was fire.
I didn't like that one.
And he was light. He was light on his feet doing it. So you could carry him way out to the middle of the ring.
Yeah, no, I like those.
Like usually you.
There you go. Let's
do it perfectly.
I took that one time. At 300 pounds, he did that to me.
Doesn't the ref get pulled out right here? 1, 2. Oh.
Yep. He got pulled out by Jim.
Come on, Jim.
Look at that. Jim's also wearing the sequin jacket.
Best ever. They can say whatever they want. Man, they can have managers today, tomorrow. I mean, he was just the best. He was just the best, man. He was so good. He could have went anywhere he wanted to go, but he loved independent wrestling.
That's right.
He could have went, dude. That time he sit Joe Gertner down, dude. It was one of the best things I ever saw in my life. Like, we were doing these shows with these guys. They were marks, man, but they had all this money. And they're like, we're gonna bring Joe Gertner in from ECW and have him do a mouth off with Jim. And I said, bro, you don't want to do that.
That's Tattersalls.
Yeah, Tattersalls. I said, bro, you don't want to do that. And he was like, no, it'll be good. It'll be good. They'll go tip for that. I said, they won't, man.
His was all scripted up there.
None
Not
scripted.
Not Jim. But
Yeah.
he was up in
Right.
ECW.
Yeah,
it was all,
Gertner had a writer.
Yeah, right.
So then I was like, bro, I kept telling him, I said, you don't want to do that. You just don't want to do it. So he's like, no, it'll be good. It'll be good. I was like, okay. So Gertner gets up and says his deal about Jim. Jim gets up and eviscerates him. He refuses to stand back up and talk. And then that's the night they pulled Jim from us. They were trying to take Jim away from his guys, and he was like, "No, fuck y'all." I can't do
Gertner
these
come
guys."
up and asked him, said, "Hey man, who writes your material?"
He
Oh,
said,
really?
Nobody. I go, well,
Jim was like, "What do you mean write?" He goes, "Well, I got a writer." He said, "Who writes your stuff?" Because once Gertner ran out of lines, he had nothing else.
Right, I got you.
But
And Jim was just off the cuff.
off
wasn't
the
Yeah.
cuff.
Just-
He didn't.
I
Yeah.
know how he did
Like
it.
I said,
why
he
he's
was
one
so
of the best.
natural,
Mhm.
man, and he wasn't ashamed to do anything. He go in there, get his hair cut. He go in there, eat dog food. He go in
Yeah.
there and be a manager.
Yeah.
And you know,
We had
There-
some good times on Sundays. I know he and I and we would drive down to Bowling Green on Sunday nights for somebody. We would drive down and work a show and then drive back 2 hours. It was pretty fun. We had a good time doing that.
was there ever anything the promoter asked you to do you just refused to do?
Not that nobody asked me anything crazy. Not that I can remember. No, at me.
the only thing I did that in Nashville. They asked me to go under Muldoon in 60 seconds. And I looked at Steve-O. I said, Steve-O, you do realize I'm bigger than him.
Who's
Like,
Muldoon? Who?
Like physically.
He's that guy Burt was pushing.
Yeah, Burt was pushing Bully Douglas.
I got
Yeah,
one
I
with
mean,
that. Yeah.
the dude was just one of them dudes that was around forever. He
Yeah,
never really
yeah,
made it. He
yeah.
never didn't make it.
Big bully.
He was just kind of there, and they were putting him over. At the time they had him in a hood, and he was beating.
Yeah,
two
right,
people-
right. I worked.
Two people at once.
I'll tell you.
And then Steve-O wanted me to be one of the two people, and I said, Steve-O, I said, I've been in there every week, and I put everybody over. I said, but this just don't make sense. I'm bigger than him.
Mhm.
When we walk up and we stand side by side, I'm bigger than him. And he was like, yeah, you're right. Gene, you and Dick can go out and do the job. Gene was mad, no motherfucker. It's fucking stupid.
Well,
It's fucking-
I have a similar. Well, that's the only time really. Me and Casey had to go work him one night. Handicap match, like
Right.
you're
Yeah.
saying.
and he
So
was,
we worked
he
him a
was,
little
I mean,
bit.
It wasn't
It was
very
going to be
good.
quick. It was going to be fast.
It just wasn't very good.
And I got
mean,
in there. He did something to me, threw me out or whatever. Casey and I just walked back to the to the locker room. And Casey took the finish. I was gone. That's the only time I can remember doing something like that. I was like, no.
I mean, they were
Sometimes
trying
you
to
gotta
push-
go with your gut.
They were trying to push him because they felt loyal to him, but he just wasn't good enough to push that hard. He just wasn't.
The only time I really refused to do stuff is when Chris had the strap on me, and I was a champ, and then I'd go work a different promotion,
Oh, yeah.
and they'd
yeah.
want me to put
Somebody else.
somebody over
Yeah, I
that, and I would just tell them I can't do that.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
we're the next town over.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm the champ. I
Yeah, I did that.
we
right
can
all the
do
time.
something else, but I can't put this dude over.
Right.
I
Yeah.
would say, we can do a Broadway or we can do a
DQ or something,
a muff
anything.
finish,
Yeah.
but I'm not putting nobody over clean if I'm carrying somebody else's belt. I'm not doing that. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because why should you? That just makes you.
But honestly,
as
I-
It's our
champ.
product.
I mean, we
yeah.
are here for the MWA.
Yeah.
And honestly, outside the MWA, that's the only belt I ever wanted. Like, I ever felt like I want that belt. Like,
Mhm.
I want to be the MWA champion. Like, it was just something that, I got a lot of champions. You know, I was champion everywhere, but I wanted to be the MWA champion.
Yep. I wanted to ever since I watched Del Man walk out.
Right.
Yep, Del TNT man.
And I hate to say it, but I never wanted that thing.
Right. You probably did. Honestly.
That's because it comes with pressure.
I did, and you saw what happened.
Like I said, he was just a humble dude, man. It was just, I mean, he still is, but you know, his character is him, but it's not him. That's the funny thing about it.
There was a lot of places that wanted to put the belt on you, and you would tell them no.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'll be back next week.
Yeah,
or
right.
not.
You couldn't commit, really.
That's why he would never want a belt, because he didn't want to commit.
Right,
but he'd be there 6 months straight.
Yeah, in the winter months. But yeah, it was just I kind of knew my role, where I kind of fit in the hierarchy of the wrestling.
So all right, let's go.
I could have lost it wouldn't have mattered.
We got to tell.
I was having fun.
The tough question. Here's the tough question. Let's say when y'all around 10 to 12, fist fight, who wins? Be on. Everybody's watching.
Maybe at 10 to 12.
Who's got it?
Probably me. At
There we go. Chris got that ass whooped.
Probably me. I was a little older.
Well, okay, so let's say
not much longer.
18 to 25.
Chris.
Real quick, Randy X wants to know, do y'all have any idea who has the MWA championship right now?
Chucky Smooth was the last champ.
Was he?
I think so.
Chucky Smooth, do you have the title?
Chucky Smooth was the last MWA heavyweight
the
champ.
actual belt, I don't know.
Now the original, or one of the original belts, somebody always comes out. I think it's Bobby Blade.
Yeah,
Carl
Chad Allegra
Anderson,
has it, a.k.a. Carl
as
Anderson,
one
and he
of,
takes
like, the
picture
older
with it.
belts. I can't remember which one. Bobby
It's
Blade.
the
He's got the
MWA
tri-state.
light heavyweight title.
Was it the light heavy?
light heavyweight title.
PYTs explode. What's going on here?
We had a little.
Or is this before he joined?
No, this was after, I think.
Yeah, because he's got the pink on.
Golly,
Yep.
What are we doing?
Larry came along really well.
Yeah, fast.
Hey, look at you though. You're smooth.
But
I'm ready to.
It really helped him coming over with us.
Yeah, it
really
did.
helped him.
Yeah, I think it.
Hey, B Money, you think you could do any of this? I think that you have a chance.
I like that cummerbund. You know why? Covers that gun. Oh man.
And this is before Larry D was ever the best game inside the house.
Yeah,
Where did Larry D come from?
He was trained down in Georgetown. He was trained with Payne and them. What was that? Was it OC?
I don't know what they called it.
But anyway, Donnie brought him up. Donnie brought him up to either.
He trained with Payne. I don't know exactly where they trained at. And then we was down at Salt River Wrestling down in Lawrenceburg.
Yeah.
At the little shit building down there.
I did that a couple times.
And Larry and Payne come down there, and that's when I first started watching Larry work. And I worked Larry a few matches down there, and I was like, man, this guy's got a lot of potential. You know, just need to mold him a little bit. And that's when we had just started working with Chris, and I kept telling Chris every week, take a look at this kid, take a look. And he's like, Payne didn't finish training, and Payne trained him. I'm not fooling with him. That was his answer. And he's like, well, who trained him? I said, well, Michael Payne. He goes, he didn't finish fucking training. I'm not fooling with it. So, and he refused for the longest time. And then I told Larry's like, man, he won't have nothing to do with me. I was like, just come to the show. Just come, let him see you. Let him see, how big a dude you are. And at that time, Larry was a big old fat kid.
Yeah, he was huge.
Yeah, and he could still move, and he was doing moonsaults.
Yeah, right.
And I said, just come, let him look at you.
He didn't do it on me.
And
I'm moving quick.
I never let him land on me. I'd always move.
I don't even want to see. This is the dumb crap that I used to do right here. Trying to do.
What are you doing?
I don't even want to look at it.
Oh,
I don't even want to see.
Yeah,
Why'd you know that was
Why? I was like, don't tell me
You
no.
remembered it.
I was like, do not show. I was like, I can't.
We got to rewind. That was bad.
It was terrible.
Oh,
I think Larry missed something.
Hey, he knew it was coming, so he's watched
I
this
knew.
before.
I was like, don't tell me this is coming right now.
Look how bad.
There it
He's like
goes
2
off the
foot off
apron.
the ground.
I don't.
Larry
even wanna see.
Larry was out of spot.
I don't know. No, No, it was me. I don't even want to look. Because I'm like, what in the shit?
Okay, from looks of it looks like he's going for a cutter because your arch up here like that.
What in the heck? I'm out here.
And Larry's like, look, Larry's like, I just killed the boss's brother. I just killed the boss's brother.
Larry was not going to let the boss's brother hit that RKO.
Dude, Larry wasn't in it. I don't think Larry was in the right spot.
I don't know, but I messed up.
Because he completely just watched you.
I mean, before that, you hit a springboard elbow drop.
You did a trust fall.
I do not.
He did a trust fall.
He failed the trust.
That was. I can't even get up. I'm knocked out. Knocked myself out on the concrete.
You know he's watched this motherfucker.
No, I just
because he knew exactly.
He knew. He was like, turn your head.
Well, I saw when I started going up to the side of the ape. I was like, oh boy, because I wanted to like moonsault and Larry catch me on his shoulder, then hit me into the but we didn't get that far. As you
no,
can
it
see.
looked like a cutter, but you missed.
Yeah, it did look like a cutter because your arms come up like this.
It looked like a trust fall to me.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to ever.
He
do
just
that
threw
again.
his arms up and went backwards.
And Larry's like, nope, not catching him.
Larry watched him hit and picked his leg up. Was like, what the hell was that?
Now he's outside. Look down. I'm like, oh my God, just killed the boss's brother.
Uh-oh.
I'm in trouble. Oh, right onto the steel chair. Both of them.
I'm glad I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Scott hardly ever did that anyway.
Oh, Lordy, have mercy.
That was a rare occurrence right there. To see Scott Hayes get done that way.
He was going to do it, wasn't he?
Yep, he tried to do a kip up.
He thought about doing it.
What?
Do the kip up.
Oh,
Yep,
no, I
you
knew
thought
I
about
couldn't do
because you
that.
kicked your legs up, and then you said nope.
So when you started wrestling, was there certain things that you wanted to do, or things that you stole from your dad when he was wrestling?
No, because he was ground and pound, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he took a good backdrop too. I will say that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
no, I thought
Jimmy Lamb took one, too. Good backdrop.
You know, if you look at those old '80s wrestlers and stuff, they all took good backdrops and stuff.
Right.
That was the big bump back then.
Man, it was. They always.
They was putting a beer down and crushing a cigarette on the way out to the ring, but fuck it, they was working.
Yeah.
Man, they put on a hell of a show, man.
Yeah.
So who did you try to implement your style after?
You know, I don't even know. Just a little.
Was there
bit.
like certain wrestlers that you really liked that you stole stuff from?
Well, I'm trying to think. You know, well, I always tried to punch like Lawler. I always thought he had the best punch.
Yeah, he did.
I always did think he did, and back when I was, the internet was already in effect when I started wrestling in '97 or '8, '90, whatever year it was. So I would get some stuff. I would watch. I don't know, maybe some ROH and so whoever. And I just kind of watch some of these guys and.
That's
Well,
nice.
I think I could do some of that. You know, I'd try it, but I wouldn't try it till I got to the daggum ring. I mean, it wasn't like a practice. I mean, it was trial by error. Well, I could do that, so I went ahead and did it. But those couple moves there, like I said, that one move off the apron or off the turnbuckle wasn't too good.
Myself,
So you thought you was going to do a moonsault and you had never tried one.
Oh shit.
Oh man. So that explains the apron spot.
That's not a good idea.
Not on the off the apron to the concrete. No.
Myself, I always, I knew my size and stuff. So I would try to work like Vader or Kevin Nash. Like I always felt like they were big guys that did power moves, and that's all I could do. But I could do a little more. But I never really pushed it because what they did got over.
Right.
Yeah. I loved watching Vader because he just kind of squashed people.
Yep.
And I like doing that, but then putting them over at the end type shit.
He once got.
I always loved Arn and Tully.
I love Tully. He was my favorite.
Arn and Tully. That's what I always tried to.
But I knew I couldn't be that guy.
Those were my kind of guys. That's kind of what I tried to implement when I was.
Tully.
I'm 300 pounds. I can't be that guy. But I knew I could be a Vader or a Nash.
So if you said three guys, I would, Tully Blanchard, Eddie Gilbert, loved him, and I loved Bobby Eaton. Those three dudes.
Bobby Eaton's awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful Bobby Eaton.
Yeah, he was good.
He really was. He had one of the best elbow drops too.
Dude, his clothesline's stiff. I'll tell you that.
I met him when I never got to.
I got to work him for Joe Rogers.
Did you?
But I don't care what nobody says. I came up with the hibernator on myself, and I know there's people's out there doing it now, but nobody had ever done it when I done it. And all it was $1 million dream turned into a choke slam. That's all it was. But I done it. Before nobody else had done it. I always tried to come up with stuff, a few things that no one had done, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the Casey and Weasel, the move that they both used. I came up with that. And it was just just something I would sit around, man. When I first started, dude, my whole life revolved.
Was it?
I made a brick one time out of clay. You know how clay, if you don't put it in the kiln, it don't get
Yeah, you
hard?
busted it on my head.
Right. So I made this brick out of clay. It's soft as hell, but then I spray painted it with brick. Like I went all the way. And I hit Donnie with it, and it explodes everywhere. It looks beautiful, but it was clay.
Right.
I mean, it would just crumble. But it kind of exploded. It was great. But that's like good guitars. We got them. We take the back off of them, put a plywood back. Like we didn't just think about it the day we were there. We thought about it from the time we left to the time we got back.
Right.
And
That's
I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but that's just how how much we loved it.
Do you recall?
I
Was there a certain match that you did that you actually was like, you know what? I want to get serious about this.
Oh no, I never ever. I knew with my age and the lack of training and what I had going on.
Yeah, but even with your
besides
lack of
wrestling,
training, you was better
No.
than most people
Yes.
that was out there.
But I'm just watching
And
some
it
of
was,
this, I'm cringing
and
at
it's
some of
not
this
even.
stuff,
It wasn't
but-
just in this area though. Everywhere you was going.
Yeah,
You're even buried than most wrestlers
I mean,
today.
after about the first year, you was never a mid-carder again. You were never an opener.
Yeah,
Even when you first started, you weren't an opener. But then you were never a mid-carder after your first year. And that's not common.
Oh, but yeah, no, I never thought like I'm gonna try to do something with this. Never, ever, never. It was more for fun, exercise, hanging around the guys, trying to put on a good show, something like that. But no, I never did.
I think that, we kind of fell in love with that too. We kind of fell in love with the life, Like it was awesome. Like we'd go do a show, then we'd go out, and it just
Well, I mean,
guys.
you literally at one point we were all living like rock stars for a little bit.
Yep,
we
that's
standing in
what it's
hotel
about.
rooms, going out every night.
Yeah.
Doing stuff we wasn't supposed to be doing.
I know that one night when me, you, and Justin went up to, I guess it was Roger's show. We stayed up there in that Marriott, and you did. We had somebody else with us, or
It was
something with the
that was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey man, fuck that dude.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Matt dude.
He's weird anyway.
Was he staying with us?
He was a weird something.
Yeah, I guess they were gonna room with us or
So,
something.
I don't. Yeah. And
They had their shit there.
yeah.
I threw their shit out, and I was like, "Nah, y'all ain't staying here."
Donnie took care
We
of that
fell out.
toothbrush.
Yeah, we fell out with them or something at the bar. Oh,
Something on the levee, that place on the.
yeah, because you was getting kicked out.
Oh, was I?
Yeah.
Let's don't say anything about
Damn.
that, fellas.
No, but you.
Hold on, whoa. So we're talking the high class dude keeps getting
I
kicked
do
out
not
everywhere.
remember me ever getting
I've
kicked
never
out
been.
anywhere.
Honestly,
Me and
been
Justin
kicked
was
out of,
standing
like,
out
one
back.
bar.
That's not me. You sure it wasn't Justin getting kicked
No,
out?
me and
I don't
Justin was
remember
out
it.
back, and he was smoking, and they come up and said, "Hey, are you with that dude over there?" And you was talking to the bouncers. You was cool. You had your hands in your pockets. You was
Naturally?
like you wasn't acting ignorant or anything. They was like, "He's got to go."
Okay.
Was like, for what? So then me and Justin started getting rowdy about it, and then those guys was like, "Hey man, we got to go, man. We need to roll." They're throwing Scott out, and it's like, "Nah, man, we're gonna chill here. We'll be up here." And we was like, "No, dude, we all
roll
came
like
together.
this.
We leave together."
Right.
That's the way we.
Right.
So they got a whole different mentality up north than
Right.
what we did. And then Justin was like, "No, hell no." So we had words with them, and then the Matt dude got smart. So I wanted to fight him, So we ended
They
up
were staying in our room.
Yeah, they were staying in our room, so I
Okay.
get up there, I throw all their shit out in the hallway. I take his toothbrush, I piss on it.
No, you stuck it in
I
your
stuck it in
ass,
my
man.
ass.
Be honest, motherfucker.
I rubbed his toothbrush in my
He
ass.
stuck it in his ass. And it was one of them $50 toothbrushes. This motherfucker put it in his asshole.
And when I saw that, they did that movie Horrible Bosses. Did you say that? Every time I see that, I remind you. Every time.
Hey, and they
funny
show
thing-
back up later to get the
Hey,
stuff.
he never knew unless he watches this show tonight. He's been brushing his teeth and shit.
They showed up to get their shit. I said, hey, don't forget this fucking toothbrush. And this one here just fell out.
I remember that. And like I said, every time I see that movie, it makes me think of you doing that night.
Yeah, fuck that
Oh,
dude.
man.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, every time we went up north, we just called him shit, bro.
I wonder if he
He
ever
didn't
caught
last
on.
long. They got rid of him.
Yeah.
He was a big. He wasn't that good. He
He had
wasn't
a little
good
size to
like
him.
Roger's normal guys, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jay and them can go, man. Them
That
guys
might have
can
been one of the
just
worst
go.
things I ever done.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That
I ain't-
was bad.
I ain't never put nobody's toothbrush in my ass.
Well, I was drunk and pissed, and
Oh, man.
it was time for us to go.
Yep. All because Scott was like.
I guess I got kicked out. I guess I got kicked out. Sheesh.
I'm not, Scott, you've been. This is fucked up. This proper fucking motherfucker has been put out more bars than me. I've only been put out of like 2. And we've already talked about 3 that you got put out of.
Man, I just don't.
And you're
remember.
sitting there with your legs crossed.
I just don't.
He would
remember.
always, dude, I would trip. Dude, we be in a fucking shittiest place in town. Scott sitting there with his legs crossed, his hands on his knees with his little dipping cup.
I got bad memory of some of that stuff.
No, man, it was a good time.
Here we go.
There's Eddie. Yeah.
That should be a good
He
one.
won't lock up. I guarantee it. Look. 5 minutes.
Yep, he wanted to lock
Yeah,
up.
won't do it. No.
Al never locked up.
No,
Eddie refused until the crowd was behind it.
I wish Eddie would have got, he did that. I wish he would have did a little more, gimmick.
Give it, yeah.
A little more gimmick because his work,
It was
his
good.
work.
But
was
didn't
so
Eddie
good.
start late too?
I don't know. I'm not sure. He might have. I don't know. He worked for Dell and them. I think they trained him down there, didn't they?
I mean,
I'm not
Dale
sure.
Manning, I think
His
that's where he
work
started.
was-
I just never got to see Eddie till later on.
Yeah, me either.
I mean, what was his gimmick? That was the thing with Eddie. Like his work didn't match. His work was way better than his gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the slugger or the.
He's doing the
barber,
drillers.
The drillers, and I'm like, man, you can be the dude. Like you can work. Like
What was his partner's name?
Look at
Johnny
Johnny
Noble.
Gill. He's
No,
styling
the other
profile.
guy,
That's
No,
it.
that little
Oh,
skinny
Coach,
dark hair.
No, big guy, physical.
Coach Steele.
Coach Steele, yeah.
Oh,
They did
yeah,
some
yeah.
of that, yeah.
I didn't know him and Colt was partners.
Oh, look at got him up.
But Eddie could work.
Yeah,
man,
all
and
those guys.
I
yeah.
just always,
See, I worked Colt long before I ever met Eddie.
Did you? And I met Colt before I met Eddie. We were down in Nicholasville.
I didn't meet Eddie until we started wrestling in Moorhead.
Moorhead, yeah.
yeah, that's when I met him too.
Was
no,
that for
he
Joe
came.
Rogers?
Him
or-
and Johnny came to Sterling for Fargo, but they worked each other in like the opener, and it was a great match.
Yeah.
And I think Fargo just needed a match, and he probably paid them. I don't know, but they were a hot match. It was
Yeah.
hard to follow.
Yeah, they
you
were
know.
good, yeah.
He brought them up thinking, I'll put them on the opening, and it'd just be a match. But shit, they went out there and killed it.
Is Kyle Maggard still listening?
Yeah, he should be.
Oh, he killed me one night somewhere.
Yeah, he's
I can't
stiff.
remember. Oh, Lord,
he's
I
a
forgot
big,
about that.
Stiff prick. Too.
Jeez.
And then laughing.
Yeah.
You know the bad thing about Kyle? Fuck Kyle. Kyle will smile, will stiff you and smile and love you at the same time. You can't do all the things.
Killing me, Kyle.
Like you can't love me and kick my ass at the same time. Like you got to be an asshole and stiff me or something. You can't be a nice guy while you're stiffing the shit out
Yeah,
of
he
me.
was killing me, laughing at me. Sorry.
Tommy
sorry,
Parker was just as bad about
Oh
it.
no, he just was. I mean, it was real. Like get in there and try to survive.
Yep.
Because Cause
I'm just messing with you, Kyle.
That's the same with
look,
Vader.
he's like, that's a big son of a bitch. I'm cool. But no, Tommy was scary because Tommy was strong, like on another level, bro. Like he'd grab you, like, and you know how we grab each other, it's light, but when Booty grabbed you, he grabbed you like the law was grabbing you, like, hey, you know. And I'll never forget it. We did a first blood match with him and Shane, and they tried to put Shane with Al because Al didn't know shit. They put me with Booty because Booty didn't know shit. So what's the first thing Booty does? He knocks me down in the corner and never trained on throwing punches. He starts punching me in the face. Well, he hits me in the nose, and my nose just goes, ksh, and it's a first blood match, and we're going over, and I'm like, oh, shit. He's like, so then he's still the nicest guy ever.
Right.
So he starts freaking out because my nose is just fucking dripping. And I'm like, you know, so I gouge his eyes, you know, and I get him down. I take all the blood, and best I could, because that was the gimmick, was we was going to pull fake blood out at the end, put it on him, and then, you know, show the ref. Well, I just took all off my face and started rubbing on his face and did the gill. It was like a 20-minute match was like a 3-minute match because the first spot he hits me right dead in the fucking nose, bro. Eyes watering, I can't see, and I'm just gushing blood. But I'm the heel general, you know, and Shane's the baby general, so I've got to handle it. Shane can't because he's the baby, you know, and Al don't know shit. So I'm like, fuck, we got to cut these motherfuckers off, rub this blood. We still had the fake. Al pulls out the fake, puts on Shane. I'm just rubbing the real shit on Booty.
Now, where might the referee be when all this is
We knocked him. We had to knock him down early.
Okay, I got you.
We had to knock him down early. You know, the gimmick was we knocked the ref down. We we got them down. We pull out the fake blood. We pour it on them and wake the ref, and he sees it, and we win the match. Well, I'm really bleeding, so I've got to hide from the ref. I've got to come up with a way for the ref not to see my blood, knock him down, put the blood on the, you know, it was like a whole deal.
Yeah, I remember everybody used to talk about how strong Tommy was, and I was like, okay. I mean, he's a good-sized dude. I didn't understand how ridiculous he was until he put Al on his shoulders and walked to the top rope with no hands. He's standing on the top rope.
Al's 350.
Walked up there like it's nothing and standing on the top rope with Al. Al's hyperventilating, doesn't have a panic attack.
Now Booty don't know what to do with him.
Oh,
he had no plan.
Yeah, right.
He just put him on his shoulder.
No way to get him down.
So he just does that. And Al said, man, my face almost hit that spike coming out of the roof.
Like Brewster said, he does whatever he wants.
Yes. And you can't say shit about it.
Yeah.
So where did you used to get your gear at? Did you have like a certain person make your gear?
It was just the
high
cheap
spots.
stuff. Yeah, it was just some of that cheap stuff. I didn't wear it all that much. You know, I had a bunch of different ones. I never, you know, I didn't wrestle too terribly many times.
Yeah, but your stuff looked legit, like you get that from the best seamstress.
For what I did. I mean, like I said, I never wrestled that mean match. I mean, it was like I said, I did it for several years, but it was only mainly in the winter months.
Yeah,
and I was like a weekend warrior. You know, I was. You could call me that. But I did it. You know, when I was off from baseball, I was doing it. You know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, pretty much 4 days a week.
A lot of those you was doing 2 shots in a day.
Yep, tried to.
Yeah, because I remember you getting to a lot of shows. You like, I got to go.
Yep, I was gone. Yep. Because like I said, that one in Nashville for Mike Porter and those guys, when I was at your all show over in Lexington, and then both times on Thanksgiving night and then Christmas night.
What up, DJ?
Rolled down there.
Bobby Green.
So I usually ask everybody.
Now, DJ Lemons, that's Bill Fryman's grandson.
Oh.
He plays softball, and, you know, we become friends, and I mean, we were friends, you know, but that was what we had in common, you know, was Bill. Bill was class act, dude. Bill Fryman was,
So I usually ask everybody when they come on, what would be your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Who would you consider?
Like my personal favorite, or like
Yeah,
if
well,
I had to,
who-
like
If you could pick a Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, what
You
would
could
you?
pick 4 wrestlers that's better than anybody else. Who would you pick?
you talking about like Hogan and Flair?
All of
and
them,
Everybody.
yeah, everybody.
From now to today.
We talking about drawing power? We talking about in ring work? Or
Whatever
Overall.
whatever you
Tickets,
think's
or
the
what?
best
Overall.
overall.
So you got to have the total package.
Dang.
It's a tough choice.
How many's on Mount Rushmore? 4?
I mean, you
Fact.
can go a lot, but for me, it's going to always be Hogan, Flair.
Well, those two for sure. I mean,
man, honestly, Stone Cold and The Rock. I mean,
Those are on mine.
I mean,
Mine's Hogan, Flair, Stone Cold, Rock.
I
and
love
then-
Mach. I love Flair. I mean, I love a lot of people, but man, they just hit heights nobody else hit.
yeah, I know, but
And then I
Like-
can't leave Randy Orton out. Randy Orton's probably the what they call the guy, the sleeper in the league. You know, like don't get the credit that he's due. Like
Yeah,
Randy Orton
underrated.
is
Like,
fucking badass, man. And
but even before those, I mean, God, Harley Ray, you watch this
Oh,
stuff,
Yeah,
it's
Harley Race.
unbelievable. I mean, Dusty Rhodes didn't have the look. He drew people. Those guys.
handsome Jimmy Valiant. I mean, he
those
killed
guys
it.
were.
Rip Rogers.
Fucking
yeah.
Joe LeDoux, like Chris was talking about. When Chris,
Well,
that
you
scared me
believed him,
just like
yeah,
it scared
yeah.
Chris.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Brother, you didn't draw no more money than Lawler and Dundee back in the
No,
day.
No, Lawler. I mean, he's not far from
Road
that
Warrior
age.
in the Fabs.
Yeah.
Road Warriors in the Fabs.
Still making money.
But
Wow.
Harley Ray, I mean, he was unbelievable to me. Just going back, I mean, we were a
He
little
was
bit
so
younger.
good.
I mean, in his prime,
He
we
was so
we were
good.
young, but he was unbelievable.
Kurt Henning's dad was so good.
Yeah, Kurt
Yes.
Hennig was good.
Man, he was good, but his dad was good too,
Larry
man.
Back. I don't know. I mean, that's a tough. It's hard to leave anybody off, but
I guess for me,
you
I'm
got to
going-
put
I'm going
Hogan
with
and Flair
You're
on
going
there.
I think
Yeah.
those are your two
If you
tops.
go with your
Yeah.
biggest money makers,
Yeah.
it's the 4 I said.
And
nobody drew
not
more-
right, Rock and Stone Cold.
There's nobody that drew more than those 4 guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can have your Goldberg, you can have whoever you want. Nobody drew
fuck
more.
Goldberg.
Nobody drew more than Hogan, Flair, Stone Cold, and The Rock. They just drew more money than anybody out there.
That's true.
And probably, if you
Yeah.
looked it up, that's probably a fact. I don't
Yeah.
know that it's a fact, but I would say.
We're doing top. Is it top 5?
My
Now,
my fifth one would be Dusty.
Now,
Yeah, I mean, he
Technically-
longevity.
I would instead of
All
Rock
right.
for me, it'd be Sting and Shawn.
let's say
Man, he's
technically,
not far either.
technically,
I
who
mean,
can work? You're going Flair, Bret Hart, Macho Man. I'm going Flair, Bret
Bret's
Hart,
good.
Macho Man, and
Steamboat
maybe
was
Steamboat back in the
Steamboat.
day, man.
Hey, Rick Rude. Don't forget Rick Rude
Who's
could
good?
go, bro.
Yes, he
Like,
could. And he'd show off just to do a
Now, most
sit up
entertaining.
play.
Rooster
on a
said
cage.
Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, damn.
That's a good
Fucking
choice, too.
Rooster. Close that cricket phone up, man. Come on, man. Eddie Guerrero, I mean, he was good, but he ain't on them levels as them guys. I don't think. I'm not taking nothing away from him. Of course, he was a legend. He was a GOAT. He's great,
Mhm, mhm.
but he ain't on the level as those guys that I'm talking about. I don't think.
Those guys
AJ
are longevity.
AJ
They have-
AJ Styles can fucking
He's
work,
good.
bro.
Yes, he
Like,
can.
It's more of Eddie's in-ring work, like in-ring.
Now, most entertaining, I don't give a fuck what nobody says. One of the most entertaining motherfuckers,
Kurt Angle.
nope, to ever walk in the fucking ring was the honky tonk fucking man. Bro, man, I don't care what you say.
I
That
disagree.
motherfucker come out, man, he had the people's attention. They hated him. Like, he was just entertaining. Probably the most entertaining to me was Santiago.
Santino Morella.
Santiago
Oh,
Morella,
he was
bro.
hilarious.
Yeah,
I
he
love
was.
it.
That sumbitch was hilarious, man. Like, he was entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, they might have been great in-ring workers, but man, they were entertaining. Bobby the Brain, dude. Like, Bobby.
He's legend. Yeah.
Dude,
Yes, he is.
He's hilarious, bro. But you didn't like the honky tonk man? Like, come on. Man, he comes out and he stops the whole people and he says, I know all y'all come to see me sing and see me, and they're all, and Nikolai Volkov with the damn.
I liked him better in Memphis.
What
when he
about
was Wayne
Ribbon with the
Ferris
Blues?
with Larry Latham when they were the Blonde Bombers?
I remember that.
I like that.
I love the honky tonk. I just thought, man, that's people hate that motherfucker. Like they hate.
Rooster said, "You say the honky tonk man, but not Eddie Guerrero. You're stupid."
No,
Yeah, he
it's
said
the
that.
Rooster. I said we were talking about workers. We were talking about Macho Man. I said entertaining. We're talking about the honky tonk man. You put Eddie Guerrero up here with Macho Man and them working, I just don't see it. I don't think he could work as good as they could work.
He
Now,
lied, cheating, steals his way to it.
I mean, and that was, that was all right, but it wasn't funny as like Santino and Honky. I don't think.
I got
Even
Our
Rick
troop is
Rude,
funny.
Val Venus was good. Like, with his little gimmick. Like, those were gimmicks
Yeah.
that, to me, that were entertaining.
Godfather.
He danced like Rick Rude, Val Venus would. He do the
Yeah.
dance that Rick
got-
Rude do, but he
I
do
got
it
a
his
question
way.
for y'all.
All right.
Heel wise, Jake the Snake or Piper?
Piper. Ah, shit, I don't know, man. That's a hard
Think about
question.
the snake
I
fight.
see. I never was a fan of Piper.
But if you.
A lot of people was, and I just was. I didn't like. I just didn't like.
I
his
liked him
old
better
character.
back
Well,
in Georgia Championship
I mean,
Wrestling
if you-
back in that like
but-
81 or
Yeah.
2.
But-
I didn't like his WWE stuff.
I wasn't
I
too
think
far.
I
Jake
don't know.
Yeah.
I think if you take the snake away from Jake, which you can't because that's his gimmick,
But-
but I'm like, Piper was an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great asshole.
He also had that-
Snake was scary. Like he had that fear factor because
He had the great psychology.
Yeah,
for
I mean
sure. Yeah,
that's too hard for me to
Oh
call.
no, he looked
as
a
far
lot
as
more
heel.
intimidating than Piper, I think.
Huh?
He looked a lot more intimidating with or
Oh
without
yeah,
the
I'd be
snake.
more scared of Jake than Piper just because of the snake. But I'd rather fight Jake than fight Piper. Does that
Oh,
make
yeah.
sense? Like I think Piper looked meaner and tougher, but Jake would just look scarier because of the snake and just the way he was.
Chucky Smooth said Ted DiBiase is the greatest heel ever.
Man, he was
He's
great.
good.
Great.
Yep.
I don't know
And
if he's
see,
the
I liked
greatest.
him better and
I like-
when he was
Dude,
in a territory back in
There's
the
no
South,
greater
he was
heel than the Macho
unbelievable.
Man. The Macho Man is the greatest heel to me of all time just because he made so many people's career being a heel.
And there's
Don't
another
forget when
guy. I liked him better when he was in Memphis and in Lexington.
Oh.
And in,
than
yeah,
WWF
ICW.
or WCW.
I liked
He's a
him
little
when
bit older, but
I
he
liked.
was crazy back in when he was.
I mean, that's just like a lot of people get mad about, Dusty, and when he made his WWE run, they threw the polka dots on him. And, everyone's like, "That's not Dusty."
Yeah. You should have seen
If you
Dusty
think
when he
about
went up
that,
to
all right.
up there and worked
Here's
Billy
a-
Graham in
here's a-
1980
Yeah.
or 81. That was
When he's
Dusty.
cutting the Hard Times
Yeah,
promo,
yeah.
man.
Here's a question: When you were a super fan as a kid before all the shit, who was the heel you hated the most?
that I hated.
That you hated the most? You bought in. You was like, fuck that guy. It's hard. That I hated the most. That's even hard for me. I can't even.
Bad news.
Bad news was it's a good one. That's a good one.
I hated that dude. I thought he talked more fucking shit.
I don't know who.
To me, I always hated Downtown Bruno.
See, I don't remember much of him. I mean,
Man, I don't know the worst one. I hated the worst. Probably Zeus.
Yeah, I remember
dude,
Zeus.
I mean, he was scary and hated.
He had that dreadful bear hug they'd apply on Hulk
And
Hogan.
come after the Hulkster.
that you just didn't
It
like
can't-
legit, or you just weren't into him.
No, I was
You
scared
liked-
of him. Like I
well,
thought he was like
Well, Joe LeDuc, he was the
No, I
worst.
didn't,
When
just-
in Memphis.
just didn't like. Probably Jimmy Hart. I mean, honestly.
God, you
I'd have
wanted
to go
kill
with Bruiser
him.
Brody as well because
Yeah.
he made you believe.
Yeah, he would do that.
I hated Jimmy Hart growing and Sherry. Sherry was
Scary
hated.
Sherry.
I love Sherry.
We
See, I
did
was
when
just
we
never
met
a
her,
big
but-
WWF guy back then in the '80s. When
Oh,
Hogan-
in then,
I was so
Right.
mid NWA.
the
with
thing. The thing about Memphis was
in
they didn't
Memphis.
have no real heels because everybody flopped. Everybody flopped in Memphis.
Well, they fed him to Lawler for 3
Right.
weeks, and then they were
I
gone.
mean,
or
you'd
not,
hate
or
Austin
whatever.
Idol, and then all of a sudden he'd flip and you'd love him.
Yeah, right,
So
right.
it was like same with Dundee. Everybody but Lawler. Handsome Jimmy, I loved him as a heel.
Yeah, he was good.
I liked the heels when I was a kid. My favorite wrestler growing up was Handsome Jimmy Valiant, bar none. And then the second was Butch Reed.
What about the Four Horsemen?
Oh,
I like them. See, I was a fan of that. Do you remember when they came to Lexington back in about 80, what was that, 85 or 6 maybe?
I love Butch
They
Reed,
did the
bro.
co-promotion with Memphis.
Yeah.
Lawler wrestled Flair for the title.
Yeah.
And the last match was Dusty and
Remember
Magnum
they did that
TA.
one that was like 4 hours long because they kept doing retakes?
I don't
was
remember
that. The
that.
same
No,
one?
I don't remember that. You had
I know that was when Flair and Savage was feud. They did a
Ole
TV
and
tape
Arn
and it was
wrestled.
like 6 hours
I
long
didn't
because
see
they kept
that.
messing the matches up so they'd redo them.
No, it was Lawler wrestled Flair, and Ole and Arn worked Dusty and Magnum in a cage.
I never was a Magnum TI fan.
I wasn't either, but he was over,
Yeah,
dude.
he was
He was
over big
over.
Yeah, he was over. You couldn't
I
deny
was
it.
just never a fan. With WCW, I wasn't a WCW fan. But just to be honest,
I wasn't either.
As a kid, man, the best thing I seen as WCW as a kid was Sting and Muda. Outside of that, man, I wasn't sold.
And Flair, that's all they had.
Right. And then now, when it got a little better, probably the best matches I ever saw was the 7 series that Benoit and Booker T did. They did 7 matches over 7 weeks and never did the same spot once.
No.
And we ain't talking
Count the money.
5-6 minute matches. They were going 20 minutes minimum, and never did the same stuff. And I thought that was so cool, you know, as a fan, watching those 7 matches.
See, I probably watched some. I don't really remember. It didn't stick out in my mind too much.
That's my biggest gripe about today's wrestling. That they do the same move every match.
My favorite match of all time will always be Hogan and Andre. I mean,
Really?
it was
You like that?
It was the biggest build up. It was the biggest, like, as a kid, you don't really know unless you're this kid looking at Andre like there's no way Hogan's got a chance.
So
Like there's no way he can win this match.
So this
you
whole
know?
this whole series of shows has been about the MWA.
Yep.
Who do you think's biggest baby face of all time in the MWA and biggest heel of all time in MWA?
Well, see, I was around a lot when I was younger. If you want to go back that
Yeah.
far. And I know X had a great run up there as both, but I wasn't around much when he worked.
Yeah.
But Dale Mann or Danny Fargo would be the.
Here's the thing.
And I know X was up there with those guys, but
Yeah.
I never got to see him work.
See,
that
Here's my
I
thing with
think
Dale
X
Mann.
was so much better a heel
Yeah,
that
right.
I don't ever put him in the babyface
Uh-huh.
category.
Right, he's
Right.
not a baby face. He can
But
do it.
when
but
it seemed
he's a
like
heel.
when I would come in and watch, he was the baby face
Here's
or
my-
whatever. And I
here's-
know the people loved him, but it seemed like Dale Mann. I would say Dale
Well,
Mann.
but
Dale
here's
Mann
my-
was-
Here's
yeah.
here's my argument with that, and I have an argument with that, and probably gonna rub people the wrong way. When you're the owner of the company, it's hard not to be the biggest baby face.
Well,
Now here's the thing: if you go with the best baby face, like true baby face. So I don't count Dale Mann because he was
Okay.
the owner of the company.
All right.
He's going over every week.
Sure,
It's kind
sure.
of at this time it's a monarchy.
Yeah, but he's
He's over, bro.
I'll get it, but he's over.
Okay, but look how many jabronis we made over just because they were there, and we
I get
made
all that.
somebody out of them because they were there. So you're the owner of the company.
I'm talking about
I'm not
as
taking that-
I'm
I'm
talking
not-
about as a fan sitting back watching it.
right.
Like,
He's
I
going
gotta-
over every week because he owns the
I
company.
wasn't a big fan
So-
personally, but
right.
So
So
he
when
would've
you
been the
think
biggest.
about baby faces that came out of the MWA, I'm thinking about Wildcat.
Cats in the top
Like
five.
I'm thinking about like Chad Allegra. I'm thinking about
Oh, you're
Rob the
thinking
Bomb.
those in this era.
See,
Uh,
Billy
uh,
Travis was another
I'm
one.
I'm gonna call it Sean Casey.
You think him?
Sean Casey.
I mean, he
Sean
was a big-
Casey was over. He could work. He had the look. He had the gimmick,
I would take his
and
partner over him.
and he had no.
Yeah.
Chris Michaels.
Chris Michaels
He
and
didn't
Sean
have the
Casey.
charisma that Sean
Both,
had.
right.
Not
Sean
even
just
close.
had. And at the time, Shawn Michaels was hot, and of course that was the deal. You know, when you went, it was kind of one.
Ready X said, $1 bill, baby.
Right. Rated heel wise, I'll go with X or Chris. Heel wise, just because I would never.
Well, I mean, Chris owned the company.
Right, but here's the thing. But he didn't when I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's true.
And I would even go with putting me and Donnie up there. But I'm
there
not
was
going to
so
put
many
us over
good
those
heels.
two
It's
guys.
hard for me to
Man,
pick.
Right.
I mean,
But I don't think there was that many
great.
great baby faces.
I'm going with Sean Casey or Chris Michaels myself, because X, like you said, X flip flop, Chris flip flop. You know,
Dale, Fargo, Billy Travis, Wildcat, and Chucky Smooth's my 5.
That's crazy.
I mean,
Good choice.
and just because
but
all
here's
those
the thing,
guys,
here's
the
thing.
crowd loved them.
You gotta love the crowd, but you gotta put the work with it. And I love those guys, and I'm not taking nothing away from them, but fucking Chris Michaels and Sean Casey could fucking go, bro.
Yeah, they had the crown too.
Like I would even put Rob the Bomb in there, but he was more of a heel to me. I
Yeah,
like
but
him.
back then, I mean, Cat was fucking going, dude.
I like Bomb as a heel. My favorite Rob the Bomb was when he was a heel.
Right.
Speaking of
Yeah,
Rob
that
the
was-
Bomb, next week, dude, the card is stacked. You
That's
got
right, go
Rob,
ahead, put
you
it
got
over.
Angel, you got Shane Parker, you got Kelly Charles, you got Tuffy. Slick
gonna be a
Rick.
good one.
Slick Rick, probably one of the most legendary announcers.
Slick
there
Rick,
was.
the
He's
best.
coming on?
Slick Rick was the
Oh,
best
nice.
announcer
Right.
ever.
Oh yeah, next week is action packed.
Yeah, that's
Wednesday and Thursday. Like, if you're not tuning in next week, I don't know what to tell you.
Exactly. Because
But-
MWA,
And again, like I said, like to me, watching Chris and watching X, man, that's how I learned to heal. I
Yeah,
mean,
they were good.
honestly,
They knew. Yeah, they definitely knew what they were doing.
and
And the heels, though, you were talking about.
not
heels,
saying
I
that
mean,
nobody right under them is
When-
not good. I'm just saying those guys were different, man.
I mean,
When we were young going to those shows at Georgetown,
Right.
I mean, you and I mean, we were, what, babies almost,
Yeah.
like 8 years old, 9 years, 5, even.
Your
younger,
dad
and-
would be one of the
and
top
he
heels.
was mean, and, golly, your
I
dad,
just-
your brother, I mean, it was,
And
they
I-
scared you legit coming
I
out
didn't.
there.
I didn't ever come when
Doug
was there.
Vines.
No,
Now here's the thing.
I saw Doug working on a show in Mid-South the other day.
Doug's probably
On
one of the
YouTube.
best workers MWA's ever
Oh,
had.
he was
Period.
awesome. Loved him.
Like, he did a lot of things well, but probably one of the best workers that I saw. Doug Vines could fucking
Mhm.
work.
Great.
And I never got to work with him, never got to work
Mhm.
on the show with him, but I remember watching him thinking, damn, man, that guy's big and he can move. And
Yeah, like I said, I was watching a YouTube video of Mid-South back
Right.
in '82 or whatever, and he was a young guy. I can't remember who he was working with, but God, he was good. I think I must have been after his run with ICW, maybe. Him and Jeff Sword, I think, did that.
But there was so many guys that come through Georgetown that was so. You had the Moondogs come through there,
Right.
man.
Well, my dad, when he first started, was with he was Ron Starr, and his brother was Don Starr, who was Eric Embry, who went off. I don't know if you guys remember. He went off and worked in Mid-South, and he worked in Texas for he booked that territory
yeah,
for Fritz Von Erich, and I mean he became a huge star. And I remember I was younger, and let's see, what was one of the fantastic? Bobby Fulton, he
Oh,
was
man.
there. He was a heartbreaker in
Fantastic.
Georgetown. He
Yep.
wore a hood, and then he left and became one of the Fantastics shortly thereafter. And
So there's
Well,
been a
oh,
story.
that's one I liked right there.
now that was a
Rewind
good
that one. Rewind that one.
I'm
Rewind that one.
talking about normal roster guys. I know they brought a lot of guys in.
But these guys were in the I mean, they were there. They were
Yeah.
actually working for him, and then they end up leaving and going on to bigger and better things. But let's watch this one. I saw that. Check this out.
Now that's a DDT.
Boom. See?
Right.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And that's
So,
on George
let me ask
Better
you
than that
this.
other one.
So there's been a story about your dad for the longest time.
I don't know it.
You don't know it.
Savage sent him in his Mercedes to get gas,
I have no idea.
and it was a diesel, and your dad put regular gas in it, and the car caught fire.
I do not. I've never heard that before in my life.
You haven't heard that one?
No.
I've heard that several times from different older veterans.
Yeah, I haven't. I wouldn't doubt it.
That's
I don't
me
know.
right
I'll
there.
ask him tomorrow. I'll call him. Yeah, I'll have to ask him.
That they were going somewhere and Savage had him go. He's like, run and put gas in the car.
Really?
And your dad put regular gas in the damn diesel, and they got going down the interstate and it caught
Right
fire.
there, right there.
Oh, Lordy, here's
That looks like me and you right there.
it could have been killing me. Retribution.
What
he
do you
could've, I
say
don't-
killing you? I never stiffed you.
Oh,
Right
that,
there at the chair
I just
one
remember
time.
that chair shot.
That was one time.
I barely
Folks,
remember it now.
we're watching this. This is Bear versus Playboy Scott Hayes.
Oh, I know who's going under.
I guarantee
Well,
it.
I know it ain't Scott.
Guarantee it.
That's
Well,
true.
That's the stuff. You know,
Tornado DDT.
and I think that's why I get booked a lot down in Nashville and stuff because that didn't phase me in the least.
Yeah,
that
it's
Yeah, I never
somebody
cared.
I never.
It's
I
still
never
Street
that.
Jubilee.
I carried a couple times.
They're like, okay, yeah,
And-
bring him. Yeah, he'll put this guy
Fast
over. No
forward this.
problem. I loved it.
Yo.
Fast forward that. But I carried a couple times and I didn't do it a couple times just because it didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, I carried as long as it made sense. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I didn't care as long as it made sense. There was just a few times just to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
One time they was putting us over for the belts, and I tried to talk them out of it because it didn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I would be going in and just working a show or something,
Right.
you know, and
And they
put their
was gonna
guy
put a belt
over.
on
Yeah,
me.
well, not me. They would, yeah, come in. You got a young guy. You can work with him. Okay.
Well,
I'm happy.
Al would always go to Greensboro. Al loved Greensboro. And he would always get in the situation and he'd be like, well, I'm bringing my brother next week.
Uh-huh.
Without prior knowledge. So he'd call me like, man, we're going to Greensboro next time. God damn, Al, I don't like Greensboro. I don't want to go to Greensboro. Well, at the time, Cody and Johnny Bear were the champs. So Al tells him, I'm bringing Bear. So I go in and Russell's booking at this time, who knew nothing about wrestling. And he pulls me, he's like, I want to put the belt on you and Al. And I'm like, Russell, don't put the belt on. I'm not coming back next week. I'm just here. He said, no. I'm going to put the belt on y'all. And then the commissioner, who was a heel, is going to come out, strip y'all, and put them up for a tournament. I was like, oh, cool, okay, that's fine. So we're sitting, we're working Cody and Johnny, and they're the champs. Well, Cody's pissed. Like, he's mad. And I'm like, bro, like, I don't want the goddamn belt. Like, what do you want to do? And then Cody goes, just meet me in the ring. Tell me the finish, meet me in the ring. I said, oh, okay, now you're talking my language. I'll meet you in the ring, motherfucker. And Johnny comes. So Cody's like, he walks off. Johnny comes over. He's like, bro, I'm good to work. Like, I don't know what's going on. I said, fuck that motherfucker. Sam told me a long time ago, if somebody says, hey, meet me in the ring, we fighting. That's the way I was, So I'm like, cool, I'm down with that, Cody, because I know I can whoop your ass. And so he comes back and he's like, man, I was just mad. And I was like, dude, I don't want the goddamn belt. Like, I'm not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I said, he's going to take them off of us as soon as we get them. And we end up going out to have a good match and everything. But I was just like, dude, I never cared about a belt except the MWA belt.
Yeah,
Like,
I know you broke my leg for it.
Man, you always talk
That was one thing, and I got mad at Bobby one time. I think he booking a show over in Versailles. If he's still on, he made me mad one time. I will say this: I was working with somebody over there, and I knew I wasn't going to be back for a week or so, right? And I put the guy over, right? I can't remember who it was, but we were going to come back and do something when I got back in a week or two. I was going to miss a week, and then So we had a little angle going.
Well, Bobby booking's a
So
bad idea anyway.
I put the guy, I'm the baby face, put the heel over, miss a week, he had me out, whatever, and then I was going to come back the next week and we're going to resume. But while I was gone, he made this guy do a job for somebody. I was like, no, I'm not coming back now.
Right.
Why?
Yeah,
And
there's
it
no
was,
point in it.
Yeah, it was somebody that he just threw in there with it, and he beat him. I was like, well, I don't guess I need to come back and get my
I don't guess there's
retribution.
a match with me and Scott on there.
Yeah.
You got Ray the Bear versus Scott.
Oh, there's where I bust. No, that's not it. Jeff Daniels.
Man, I can't believe they ain't got a.
Go back there to the
Bridges.
Jeff Daniels right there. That was in Nashville right there. Yeah, hit that. That's the end of the match, I guess.
We'll watch this before we have to call it the night.
Call it a night.
Yep.
This may have been like
Hey, Chucky Smooth's
Thanksgiving
up to
night or
Greensboro.
Fuck Greensboro. Man, I'm not going driving for 45 minutes and wrestling for a piece of chicken. Wrestling a jabron, some dude is
Oh.
gonna get you fucking hurt.
Oh yeah, we had the 2 rings up that night.
Nice.
That's Dominique. That's Jeff's wife. Boom. Oh,
Ooh,
Nice
head
shot.
that was the biggest pop
Oh,
of the night.
she did what I
That was
did
the
to the
biggest.
band.
Yeah, that was the biggest pop of the night right there when she hit that chair.
I did that at Andy's house when we were filming the spot with me hitting the van. I did the exact same run into it and slammed my head into it for real. And he's like, "You okay?" I'm just like, "We need to do that again." And he didn't film it.
Just
I'll t-
bleeding
I-
all
I-
over the place.
Now that I remind myself, I took that a few times. So we must work a few times. I took this.
I don't know if this is any good. It was alright.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was all right.
That's his son right there.
Oh, the ref.
Yeah. I think this is for their title.
Look at the people, bro. Look
Yeah,
at the
they
people.
Yeah, the
Look
people
at
on
the
there, people,
reaction.
you.
Oh, them big girls was on
Yeah.
fire. Look at them.
Oh,
All
Playboy.
8 of them.
She had
Praise the
that.
hell off.
Hey, look, she's up there popping that food, you gonna get this, Scott.
Yeah, Scott, you gonna get that.
Oh,
'cause
He
you're a
probably
Playboy.
did later on. He's old hider.
We did. We had that. It was the Nick Doulas Memorial Battle Royal or something. I won that Battle Royal that night, and I think I won a $2,000 check. But I looked at it, and it was had void all over it. He gave it to me. So I mean, Jeff Daniels right there. I mean, he got me over down there. I was always like just doing a helping.
I
guys
always
out.
liked Jeff Daniels.
Me too, and
He's
the
a
first
good
one that-
hand, man.
Really good. He was the first one, and he was booking it. So he's the guy that.
He's one of
actually
those
gave me
guys that an old veteran that would take guys and help mold them, and
Yeah.
he would work with you instead of worrying about himself getting
the
over.
lightest.
Because there's a
guy
lot of
ever.
veterans that they don't want to help the younger guys; they just want to get themselves
He
over.
was awesome.
He reminds me of a guy like Tracy Smothers that
Yeah.
will take you and
Jeff was
try to help you out.
Tracy was
God
one
rest
of the
his
best.
soul.
Jeff was good.
Oh, we gotta
I-
wrap it up, boys.
he was the
Yep.
first one to really give me a little.
Yeah,
push
Tracy
in
should
Nashville.
definitely be in the Hall of Fame. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
Yeah,
he's
he
not.
should be.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wes, come to that time
Yeah.
where everyone says their goodbyes.
Yeah, I enjoyed
Who
it.
was
I
the-
mean, honestly, tonight, me and Donnie come on all the time.
Yeah.
We had a few guys was trying to get on and highlight them, but I mean, Scott, to me, Scott was just a class act.
I
Great
appreciate it.
worker,
Thank you.
great gimmick, great gear, great friend, great guy to hang out with, be on the road with. I wouldn't want to be on the road with anybody. I wouldn't choose anyone over Scott
Yeah, I
to
appreciate
be
it.
on the road with because, even though he's a little different, he still got your back.
Yeah.
He's gonna throw a couple punches. They might not do much, but he's gonna be there with you. Hey, look, he said shoot. But no, the dude was one of us. We were a little different cut, but it
It's
just
all
worked.
good,
It just
yeah.
worked good together,
Yeah.
man. We just loved each other and took care of each other, and to me, I wouldn't trade that for nothing,
Yeah,
man. But
I
Scott,
enjoyed
I always enjoyed
Scott
working.
Hayes, class act.
I always enjoyed working with Scott, traveling with Scott,
Yep.
hanging out with Scott. Dude, it was weird because we all were different. Like, we was totally different. Like, we used to even look at each other and be like, why is he here? Because, like, you didn't fit in,
Yeah, I know.
but-
I know.
He dressed better. He had better clothes
Oh,
than us. He had
dude.
better car than us.
Well, that's not even my car. That's the
Well,
company car.
And the motherfucker had a clothes rack in his fucking
Well,
back
I
seat.
travel a lot, you know.
Remember that shit? He had a clothes rack in his back seat of shirts and
But
shit
if
because he
it,
was always
let
on
me
the
just
road.
say, if it wasn't up to you guys, there would have never been a Playboy. I can tell you that. I didn't have that creative mind, and I'd have just been Scott Hayes going out, and
Shit,
preferably
dude,
I'd have been wearing a mask.
That just come from a bunch of guys having fun
Yeah,
hanging out
yeah, I
one
know.
night, you
That'd
know?
have been-
Just because
and
we
then-
enjoyed your company more
Yeah.
than wrestling, which
Mhm.
are like We just good friends, man. That's all.
Yeah, I
there is to
remember
it.
some of those nights at Justin's after.
Oh,
they
man.
Oh,
after
some of the best.
That's where everybody went,
I
you
know.
know.
Hey, we ain't gonna talk about old Hyder Hayes before
No,
we leave, but
Signing off. There you go.
But
Signing
no,
off.
signing off.
I always have fun,
Signing
man.
off.
I always like coming to the show, shooting the
Yep.
shit,
Yeah, good time.
hanging out with everybody.
Good
uh,
time.
Yep.
Tonight's been a good show. We just sat around just talking.
Yep. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
He said signing off. Signing
Dang it.
off.
Yep.
You
got anything else to say?
Hey,
Bird,
Some things don't ever change.
That's right.
I didn't tell all the real.
We didn't go into the bad stuff.
Next
That's
week.
good.
Hey, some stuff we take to the grave.
Yeah,
man.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Next
That's all there
week,
is to it.
2 big shows with the NWA. Wednesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. You know it. Be there, be square, because if you're not there and you're not having fun,
You ain't getting none.
damn skip it. Yeet, yeet.